earlier today. There we go. Okay.
Play it.
UML. Monsters. I'm just throwing it in a bunch of other streaming chats. Just, I don't think anybody ever looks in those places. Just in case. I didn't take a nap beforehand too, so I'm actually pretty awake.
Uh-huh. Helps the first game jitters.
Not gonna lie, I was hella nervous for the first game. I don't really know why, but
Yeah, me too.
like it's on our own channel. The only reputation
Right.
we have is our own org. It was for like, I think the big thing was just watching that viewer number go up, and it was like, oh yeah, this is a bunch of people not affiliated with Rodham. We can win over fans maybe.
Right? Until we trash talk their team, and then
I mean, I thought we did a pretty good job that cast.
I think we did. I was just kidding.
I think we normally do a pretty good job. Oh, I feel bad about this one. I wonder if I can change the black background.
Draft. You got the drink link?
Yeah, my draft is not loading.
Might work. Yeah, that's my favorite. It loaded for me fine.
Maybe I missed something. Try to copy it
Red
again.
link I sent you.
Oh, I had to
I sent
put
you.
space after it. Okay.
Yeah,
smacking people in.
Looks like it.
Oh, my hair is like everywhere.
I want a haircut so bad.
I don't need one. I just like woke up, went out, took a shower, went out, tried to start my car, couldn't. Then went back to bed, and I just have bedhead still, hours and hours later.
That's why you didn't need your nap. I see. Big brain.
It's the biggest brain. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start here in just a couple of seconds. Return of the Middlesticks versus attack mode from UML week number 3. Both teams 1-1 headed into the week, so this it almost works as a de facto play-in game for playoffs, even already at this stage. So, the team that comes away 2-1 going to be in a very strong position. The team that falls to 1-2, not looking so great, but still has that opportunity to climb out of the cellar. But welcome officially to the draft, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Maristamatic, and my co-caster today, as he has been for all the UML games, is Liposuction Lane.
Hey, that's me, baby.
I need to turn you up just a little bit. But yeah, we've already got a couple of bands coming through pretty quickly. The Pantheon Camille taken off the table, as well as the Vane. This all pretty normal. Yeah, there's the Gragas as well. And Tristana going to be the target. That's a little bit of a different one, but understandable given the way that that Samso has played on that pick, especially against some of these players. Arya's, Disguised Monkey, Pistachio, all from the Glacial Vendetta team that we just played in the FPL finals not too long ago. So kind of familiar rivals at this point. And already going to be the first pick, Kaisa, locked in for Arya's.
Yeah, no surprise there. Kaisa just really strong ADC, definitely the strongest in the meta right now. Does take a little bit to scale up, but once she does, is just super strong in the mid to late game. So no surprise there.
I'm trying just to adjust some of your volume really quickly.
No worries.
Hopefully it's about right. I made you quieter for me and louder for the stream, hopefully. Because you're blowing out my ears, but I noticed on the last couple of VODs you've been a little quiet, so turn you up a little bit. Galio Jin, the first 2 picks, going to be locked in, and the Galio going to be a flex pick between mid lane Hokage and Black Salt. The Jin, of course, definitely to Samso, but there's, the pretty classic ADC matchup on the past couple of patches.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. We see the Leona lock in, definitely one of those engaged supports just being super prevalent in the meta right now, so no surprise to see there.
Ooh, the Kindred. So this was something that was played into Aikaido by Glacial Vendetta, but this is a different jungler. Budakuz is not the jungler that was on the Glacial team at the time, but it's the same counter pick that had so much success. It's the takeaway plus the counter, and the Irelia going to be hovered and locked in for Tendies.
Yeah, Tendy's getting his signature Irelia pick. It is going to be blind, but because they pick it in the 3rd pick of red side, they get 2 bans to throw at top lane after already throwing the Gragas ban out. So my guess is we'll see 2 more top lane bans here with Wukong and Gragas already off the table.
Yeah, that would make sense to me as well. The Fizz hovered potentially. Kind of an interesting ban if you were planning on taking that Galio in mid lane.
Yeah, it might be ROTM just kind of showing their hand here that they're potentially looking at this Galio pick in the bot lane. and with no Camille on the table, it's not like you have the super good pairing. Still pairs pretty well with Aurelia because she is a champion that wants to dive in there, but you see Kennen as the last ban.
Yeah, Olaf and Kennen. Kennen's a pretty good pick into Irelia, although I think that's actually a pretty Irelia favored matchup, so I'm a little surprised to see that taken off the table. But
and it could be one of those bans that you're not looking at it specifically for the matchup, just kind of as an annoying big team fighter that you don't want to go against. So
yeah, the last ban is going to be Jarvan. I'm kind of interested. I don't know specifically if Olaf or Jarvan are Aikido champions, but ones that they don't want to play into as Kindred are understandable. Now ROTM with the world in front of them, going to reverse show their hand. We thought that the Fizz ban meant that the Galio was going to be the mid laner. It's not. It's the Nautilus bottom to pair with the Jhin. That'll put Galio in mid lane for mid lane Hokage. And they'll have the opportunity to counter pick jungle, which is kind of an interesting scenario that we found ourselves in.
yeah, I mean, they already see Kindred on the board, so I'm kind of surprised that they didn't just already pick jungle right there to kind of save and see what mid lane was going to bring. But RTM just electing to go for Galio in that mid lane, going to be matched up against Orianna. Going to be a pretty safe lane for both laners. You know, they're mostly going to be looking to farm and scale up. Galio going to try to hit 6 as fast as he possibly can, and we see Shen as the top lane pick.
Shen's a pretty strong matchup into Irelia. I like that pick quite a bit. Gives them a lot of global pressure. They have a lot of safety for their double marksman in the Kai'Sa and Kindred. That's a really kind of scary looking team comp, and we'll see what our team can round theirs off with. I kind of want to see some magic damage, but it's going to be the Kazakhs locked in for Aikido.
Yeah, that's a really AD focused team comp for RTM. Galio is going to have to be the sole magic damage dealer, and it's not like he can't deal some damage, but he's definitely not something you have to primarily build for. We might see some Ninja Tabi come out for some of the ATK members, because I think it'll be really efficient to pick up some early armor.
Yeah, feels like a Ninja Tabi angle, as the boys would say. Just waiting. Looks like everybody getting some final checks done, and then we'll head into game number 1. Attack mode and Rodham about to hit the rift. Of course, we still have another champion select to go through, but you know how it be. So, thank you guys for joining us here on the stream. If you don't already follow the stream, please hit the follow button. We also do really appreciate the subscriptions that we've gotten in the past couple of streams. We have some really cool plans in the works for an eventual payout, and hopefully we can get there eventually. But for now, let's focus in on this game, ATK mode and Return to the Middlesticks. I'm just guessing that ATK mode is short for attack. Maybe it has a separate meaning as well. Looking at their logo, you know, you've got the T is like lower than everything else, so maybe it is just supposed to be ATK mode.
Yeah, definitely an interesting name. I think attack mode makes a lot of sense, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, again, if anybody wants to clear up pronunciations of names or anything like that, we're always open to it. Although, these look like some of the easier names that we've had to deal with recently, so that's nice. But picks coming through for both teams. Both, we talked a little bit about ATK mode's kind of overarching strategy. You get the safety for your double marksman. You have a lot of team fight control with the Shen and the Orianna. What do you feel like the plan is for ROTM with their picks?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Aurelia or Kazakhs getting into the backline with a Galio ult on top. I think that's the best way that you're gonna look to fight. I think for the most part, you're gonna try to look for picks with the Kazakhs. Use his invisibility, use his ult to find out some of the carries. it does get pretty difficult with the Kindred ult to just like burst someone, unless they're just way off by themselves and Kindred's not paying attention. But I think it's a pretty straightforward team comp for ATK mode, and RTM's going to have a little bit harder time, but has the more pick-oriented comp, so I'll have to see if they're able to use that well.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see game number 1 here. Again, both teams come in at 1-1, and this is a super important game for both of them to kind of stabilize. They've all of the games in this division have basically been 2-1s on the score sheet at least, and it's going to be really difficult to achieve separation, I think, between some of these teams. I'm just going to pull up the standings really quick while I'm talking, but right now you've got Johnson and Wales, the team that we played last week, at 2-0, and then you got 4 teams at 1-1, and then OTA Storm down at 0-2, but they've taken games off of both of these teams so far. So, again, technically have taken games off of both teams. We'll put that caveat in there. But it's still a brawl. There's been 1-2-0 series in the entire division so far, and with all these teams stacked up, the top 3 making playoffs, this and every week from here on in is going to be a very important week to get those wins and those points locked up.
Yeah, I mean, this game does mark the halfway point with only 5 games that you actually play. You play that single round robin against your division. This game is just kind of a big halfway point and can determine your season. So.
Yeah. So ATK mode week 1 dropped a 2-1 to Johnson Wales, and then last week won a 2-1 against University of Michigan, which is a team that we have yet to see return to the Middlesticks with the 2-1-ish over OTA Storm, and then the 1-2 loss as well to Johnson and Wales. So if we're going just on transitive, these teams should be very evenly matched on the Rift, and even going back as far as the FPL finals, where we had basically it's this 5-man squad versus 3 of the 5 on the other team. It was a 3-2 win for Glacial Vendetta, but those games were super close the whole time.
Yeah, they were. RTM had some fight back victories. I think if you had to look at that whole series at an objective view, I think RTM didn't look like the best team or coming out of that, because there were some stomps from the other side, especially in that like game 5 deciding game. But RTM really battled, and you know, it's when you see players that are pretty familiar with each other, I think it almost becomes like kind of a pride thing, especially just to like know that you've gone up against this guy multiple times and you want to do well, and or know that you beat him last series and want to prove yourself or whatever. So it's always adds a little extra fun layer.
Yeah, well, with 1.5 minutes left in the spectator delay, let's take a quick look at some of these head-to-head matchups. We've talked a little bit about the Irelia into Shen, but do you feel like Tendy's got the better matchup in this situation?
I don't think it's a bad matchup by any means for Aurelia, and I do expect her to win the side lane later. So if you know she is able to get a kill or 2 on her, and then convert that into being able to like pressure Shen in the side lane, because ideally you want to be shoving him under his turret and making it really punishing for him when he does use his R, so that he's losing a lot of tower damage or minions whenever he does decide to roam. So that's what I'm going to look out for in that top lane matchup, is see if Aurelia can get a lead, dominate the side lane, and try to keep Shen in that side lane as much as possible.
Yeah, and then I think you have kind of the reverse in mid lane, right, with the Orianna and Galio?
Yeah, exactly. Orianna wanting to try to shove out, keep Galio in the lane. Galio's really, really good at wave clearing with his passive auto, and then also his Winds of War on his is able to just clear the wave super fast. So, punishing champion, not the best. Not that she's bad at wave clearing, but not the fastest wave clear. So I expect Galio to be able to free out in this in this lane. But you know, if Orianna is able to get a couple kills or something like that, we could very well see Galio pushed under his tower for most of the game.
Sorry, I realized I hadn't set up the scoreboard yet. Okay, there we go.
And I really like mid lane Hokage. We're actually going to see Predator Galio, which has had some prevalence. It helps you get onto people without the flash that they removed a while back for Galio's taunt. Having that extra movement speed to just kind of run into people is really nice.
Well, I'll open up the prediction game. Go ahead and vote for who you think is going to win Game 1 between ATK mode and Return of the Middlesticks. So far, no votes. So hopefully we'll start to see those come in as the timer ticks down. But welcome to Summoner's Rift for Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. On the blue side of the Rift, wearing the blue health bars for Game number 1 will be ATK mode. And on the top side of the Rift, wearing the red health bars will be Return of the Middlesticks. Artyom grouped up at level 1, maybe going to look for some shenanigans with the Nautilus level 1.
Yeah, we did see some pings go down. RTM at least wanting to get a ward on this red buff, maybe more if they find someone and they
flash
flash
hook! He lands it onto Arya's. It's going to be the counter flash, but you'll take that trade pretty much 100% of the time.
Yeah, I really enjoy supports that are willing to flash, especially in a hook champ, and get the opponent's ADC's flash as well. Gives you a lot of pressure in that lane, especially if you get an early gank. But even if you don't, just because of the nature of hook champions, without a lot of times an ADC's only escape button is that flash once you get hooked. And with that burned, you're definitely in a good spot.
Yeah, so junglers going to start each other's, well, not each other's. They're going to start their own blue buffs, so opposite sides of the rift to begin. And I'm kind of curious. You have Arya's and Pistachio both waiting down in that bush. They're going to see that the red buff isn't leashed right now if they pan over there, but they might have seen the characters over, standing in that red bush, and this might be kind of a misdirection being played by Arya's and Pistachio.
Yeah, it very well could be. They were a little slow to get to the lane, kind of adding to that misdirection, but ultimately, I think RTM's gonna, with that ward, see that, they're gonna end up starting the top side of the rift.
Is that the new Jhin skin that we keep briefly seeing? Meanwhile, Tendies and Disguised Monkey gonna go ahead and have an auto attack fight, which is gonna go the way of the Irelia early on. Although Flavor gonna hit level 2 and shove in mid lane Hokage as well. So couple of a little bit of early action. Have to be careful in the bottom lane as well as Pistachio and Arya's push for their level 2, and they'll get a big shove in. So the shoving bottom side of the rift in exchange for the shoving top side of the rift, and Disguised Monkey tries to flash away the double dash and first blood, the murder-suicide for Tendies in the top lane. The flash forward for the taunt on mid lane. Hokage Aketo's here, gets the electrocute proc for the kill in mid lane, and it's 2-1 for for Return to the Middlesticks.
Yeah, Return of the Middlesticks finding 2 big kills there, one in top lane and then one in mid. Tendi's playing that super well, saving his second Q for after the Shen flashed away, is able to kill him and also get a little bit of an XP lead because Shen had that wave under his tower, was going to lose some minions even after TPing back.
Yeah, it does have to be careful now, as it is the level 3 to the level 2 of the Irelia. Meanwhile, Aiketo is camping mid lane right now, looking for some more pressure onto Flavor, but going to unfortunately lose the Scuttle Crab 50-50, and looks like Kindred will be able to grab that first stack for himself. Well, themself, I guess. Technical preference.
Yeah. You actually see a roam here from the Galio, already with the boots, is going to try to find something in top lane.
Yeah, has the taunt onto Disguised Monkey, gets the knockup. Tendi's not really in range. Oh, didn't hit the stun. That was a really good sidestep by Disguised Monkey. But the pressure already from Aikido and mid lane Hokage and Tendies has been really good on the top half of the map. Have to be careful on the bottom, though, as Buddha looking for the gank. Black Salt unfortunately hooks directly into Pistachio. That was really good positioning by the Leona, and it'll secure a kill on the bottom side of the rift.
Yeah, and attack mode is able to actually capitalize off the blown flash early in the game. As we see
Tendies
trade
is,
top.
Yeah, Tendies is still looking for this. He's got the auto. Does he have the Q left? Uh... Oh no, the stun comes out. All right, Aikido gonna jump in. He'll be able to trade that one back. I thought that Tendy still had his Q up. I didn't know what we were waiting for, but really well played by Disguised Monkey to get the trade in that situation.
Yeah, and just so much pressure already in top lane, and Disguised Monkey really handling it pretty well. Having a trade kill in both scenarios there is really big, and is able to get on his Balmy Cinder.
Yeah, Buddha and Arias and Pistachio going to look for a little invade, and this is going to be difficult to defend for ROTM. Aikido's headed down there. He's 2-0. He has a finished serrated Dirk, so he's got a huge item advantage. And Black Salt and Samso going to walk in and try to contest their Gromp being taken. They're on top of Pistachio, but not a huge amount of damage coming through the hop out from Aikido as he gets chunked, but the taunt comes in from mid lane Hokage. They'll find Buddha, and can they find anything else? The flash away from Pistachio is going to make sure that there's no extra kills, but Buddha did grab the Gromp stack as a result of that, so he'll be up to 2 stacks at least if he didn't get one on Black Salt as well. No, he's got 3 already.
He's at 3, yeah. So that's really big for Kindred, already on that 3 stacks, which is a good break point for her. Really big to have it this early in the game as well. RTM does get the kill back for themselves, but I think you almost take that for Kindred getting to 3 stacks, especially this early in the game.
Yeah, taunt gonna land from Disguised Monkey. Tendies is getting chunked through, and here's Buddha to return a little bit of pressure in the top lane. He's seen what's happened to his Shen and is not gonna let him have the impact weak side treatment. Instead, gonna get this shove in. Tendies doesn't have teleport to return to the lane after blowing it after that unfortunate death, and now playing a little bit with fire by hanging around.
Yeah, Aikido is here to back him up to help him get this wave, and he does have the Vamp Scepter, so hopefully that should be enough to get this CS. Does have the CS lead, but this Shen is just looking really, really strong into the Aurelia, trading really well. So we'll have to see how this matchup continues to play out, but Tendy's going to take a recall here.
Yeah, meanwhile, some CS leads in the other 2 lanes for ATK mode. Flavor and Arya's doing a good job right-clicking the minions so far, and Flavor kind of taking advantage of mid lane Hokage roaming a little bit. The 1 kill and 1 assist probably equalizes. Let's actually take a look at the go totals. Yeah, it's almost exactly even with that CS discrepancy.
And we'll have to see with the mark spawning in the bot river, if both teams end up fighting for that objective.
Yeah,
both junglers already pathing that way.
Yeah, it looks like Buddha's just not on the right hemisphere of the map, basically, to go ahead and contest this next spawn. Tendies is hit level 6, looking for the all-in, hits the Vanguard's edge. Disguised Monkey's already taunted out. He's got flash available still. The W isn't quite enough range, but you'll take a flash for an ult. Again, every day of the week, so that's a good trade for Tendies, and he'll continue to press his CS advantage up there.
Yeah, and there's no TP back for the Shen, so he's actually going to miss quite a bit of farm here. Tendies also might be able to pick up a plate based off the time that it takes Shen to get back to lane, and with the giant minion wave there. So Tendies really opening up a lot for himself early in this game, which is exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, meanwhile, Aikido and mid lane Hokage start up the dragon. I don't know if that was 100% intentionally at that point, but with Samso and Black Salt in tow, should be a relatively safe dragon take, and Buddha not going to go ahead and contest. So first dragon of the game goes to return to the Middlesticks, which are words that I don't know that I've said before. That's a weird, unique sequence of words.
Yeah, based off of last week's game, our team did not have much dragon priority, but getting the first one of the series here, really big, and it wasn't really off of much. It just happened that bot lane had the priority and was able to roam up. So Aikido already 2-0-1 on the Kazakhs, has quite a bit of a lead for himself and felt like he could take the dragon right there. So Nice pickup for RTM.
Yeah, but look at Buddha's inventory. He knows what's up. He's got the plated steel caps, aka the Ninja Tabi, aka armor do goodly boots. Cleanse away from Samso as he's trying to get out to safety. Flash from Black Salt. He hits the tower, but the Void Seeker follows him, and Aryas finds the kill onto the Nautilus. In mid lane, Hokage just getting a good trade onto Flavor with Aikido in tow. Not quite enough damage there, but a good well-timed flash from Flavor will get him out to safety. Now in top lane, Tendy's renewing pleasantries with Disguised Monkey. This is not going his way. Well, maybe now it is. The dash got him back a lot of health, but a good taunt. And the grass proc kind of equalized that into the double stun. Does Tendy's actually have this? There's no way. He's got the dash left available, and he'll finish off the solo kill. Tendy's in the top lane.
We see how big that Vamp Scepter is, just healing so much even after a bad trade at the start there, but was able to heal back up and then just continue fighting the Shen with the Conqueror. Is going to get himself another plate or two here. Shen's going to TP back to lane, but that Aurelia's healthy and not really in a spot that you can fight her. So it's going to back here with a big gold difference.
Yeah, and Aikido going to go ahead and take down Shelly as well. So early objectives going the way of ROTM, which is a flip of the script from what we saw in the Glacial Vendetta series and what we've seen so far even in UML. Really happy to see the boys get out to that. Only about a 200 gold lead for themselves, despite all of the good plays that they're making. So attack mode doing a good job, hanging in there, and they, as we mentioned, have the much easier to execute potentially stronger team fight comp. Aikido going to drop Shelly up here in the top lane. They're going to force the TP out of Flavor. So just going to pick up the 2 turret plates for it. And unfortunately not quite the tower. Yeah, okay, at least got the charge in. 320 more gold for Aikido. Flavor has kind of isolated himself on the backside. They get the Galio ult to call in the phase rush, trying to get out to safety. They use the Shen ult as well. It's not quite enough damage on the Taste Their Fear of mid lane. Hokage not deterred. Goes in. It's a really good Caretaker's Refuge, and they're able to take down mid lane Hokage over the turret. The Flash Vanguard's Edge from Tendy's, and Flavor kills himself by walking into the Blades. Disguised Monkey in pursuit. They have Buddha and Pistachio also hanging around, but it's not quite going to be able to track down the boys. That was a really messy tower dive, but they did get the 1-for-1. Oh, Buddha around the side looking for Aikido. A couple more autos are going to finish that one off, and it's a big shutdown onto Buddha, but they're going for the dive on Aryas. Black Salt is low. He gets taken down. Samso just doesn't have it. The flash forward from Aryas. He senses it. He gets the double kill on the dive. What a play by Aryas, and now Tendy's is in trouble in the top lane getting dove, and it's another shutdown. Buddha, the big recipient of that, with 2 huge shutdowns on the Kindred.
And it's just disaster all across the map for ROTM there. First, a really well-played Spirit's Refuge by Disguised Monkey to block the Galio and just make ROTM have to commit everything to killing that Orianna. And then in the bot lane, a really, really well-played outplay by Aryas, getting the double kill after a failed turret dive from the ROTM bot lane. And now this Kai'Sa is rolling 3-0 already in the early game. It's going to be really hard to stop.
Yeah, just a little bit too hyphy from ROTM on both sides of the map, and they pay for it big time. So we'll see if they can settle back in. Now it's about 1,000 gold lead for attack mode, and all of the good work that they've done early game kind of undone in that one haphazard play. But we'll see if they can bounce back. Blade of the Ruin King finished for Tendy's. You have the Dusk Blade for Aikido, so a lot of points of power to continue to play around, and Samso punishing Pistachio for stepping up just a little bit in the lane there.
Yeah, and it's not all lost for ROTM. They do have a really, really strong top side still. This Aurelia up quite a bit of farm over the Shen, and then Aikido is still pretty strong on this Kha'Zix. Counteracting that is the really strong bot lane for attack mode. Kai'Sa rolling already on a completed item, and RTM should just try to get as much farm as they can out of this lane and not fight if they can help it. But we already see Kindred hovering down here again, and we might see a return. Yeah,
already popping the Nautilus ultimate onto Aryas, getting a lot of damage down early. Pistachio is pretty low, but Black Salt's going to be the first one to pay for that transgression. Flash taunt in from... Oh, he was able just to manage the range of the Kindred ult. Mid lane Hokage going to fall in the process. Aikido's been caught by Flavor, gets hit by the Shockwave, and Samso's the last one left alive. ROTM with another kind of rough-looking play. The teleport coming in from Tendies. We'll see if he can find anything on the backside. Not able to find the stun. He dashes through looking for Flavor, but the Shen ult is there, and Flavor turns it back around with the dissonance. It's just Samso left alive as Black Salt respawns to try to defend this dragon, and I don't think that's going to happen for RTM.
Yeah, on a play that RTM initiated, it couldn't have gone much worse. They try to engage on the bot lane, but this Kai'Sa is just so strong, especially with the extra shielding she gets from her ultimate. It's able to just pretty much fight, and they're going to fight again in the mid lane.
Yeah, uses the ultimate to dodge out the damage from the fourth shot, apply that shield, and Arya's comes away unscathed from another 1v2 attempt. Samso has to burn his cleanse again, and yeah, this is a really rough spot for the bot lane in particular of ROTM. Mid lane Hokage using the Predator to get back to lane to help defend against the shove from Disguised Monkey. Now both globals isolated down there in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I think if you're RTM, the way you fight back in this game is you don't want to do anything that you can around this Kai'Sa. Just super strong. And so trying to maybe use Tendi's side lane pressure against the Shen is where you want to put it. Your attention if you can. On the opposite side, attack mode is just wants to keep finding fights around this Kai'Sa, and they can force a lot of plays with the Shen R, being able to bring that extra person in and get some extra CC and protection for this Kai'Sa. We'll have to see how things play out, but not looking good here for RTM moving into the mid game.
Yeah, a little bit of damage done there by mid lane Hokage, getting the better of Disguised Monkey in the trade, although that isn't always super permanent. Now Black Salt and Samso wander back up to the top lane. Tendies is still waiting in the wings. They're maybe looking for this big shutdown, but Buddha's the one that collapses, and Black Salt falls again, his 5th death of the game, as they dodge forward. Good stun by Tendies to try to help disengage, but Arya's and Buddha are so big. The double marksmen have huge shutdowns on them now.
Yeah, and attack mode just continuing to go around their strong points. They keep going to playing around this Kai'Sa, and RTM just really doesn't have an answer. They can't group up, can't fight against the Kai'Sa and the Kindred combo, and need to find a way to get some counterplay for themselves in a different lane. And Black Salt having a really difficult time on the Nautilus. I think a lot of this time trying to go in and force some plays. Not realizing that attack mode is there, trying to set up a play of their own. So
Disguised Monkey a little bit overextended here. Maybe they can find a pick onto the Shen, slow over the wall into the taunt from mid lane Hokage, and Aikido will follow him and take him down. So that's a good little play. They find the isolated pick. They get that for themselves. Unfortunately, not one of the big shutdowns that they were maybe looking for, but you know, you'll take a free kill when you can get it.
Yeah, for sure. Nice to see that they get a kill back for themselves. And if they can keep doing that on the isolated target, I think that's what RTM has to do to get back into this game.
Yeah. Still 2 minutes away from the Dragon, 3 minutes from a potential Baron spawn, so not a whole lot of neutral objectives to really play for. It's just going to be this kind of Mad Hatter mixing and matching of lanes right now in the mid game. Right now, Arya's and Pistachio assigned to mid lane. They shove it in. They'll get some ward coverage in the vague general dragon area. Aikido should probably finish off that buff. Okay.
Just waiting for that W to come back up. Get a little bit speedy towards his other camps. I'm curious what Kindred's up to now on her stacks. Already up to 6, so looking real good for the Kindred. I mean, just a lot of gold already on the champion, and then having the stacks to back it up as well. And it's just going to keep getting stronger and stronger as the game continues.
Well, second Herald going to be summoned in mid lane to try to break this one down. Tendi's looking for the engage. They get the stun onto Buddha. I don't know if that's the target. In comes the Galio ult. Buddha's very low, but they have the Caretaker reference. They have the Shen ult, but they get the shutdown onto the Kindred. Aikido jumps in, looking for more. He's on top of Arya's. They assassinate the Kai'Sa. Flavor running away from the fight. Tendi's gets the stun, gets the autos, the big shutdown for him. And ROTM finds an ace out of nowhere.
Yeah, just totally unexpected. You would think that with the Kindred ult, she'd have enough to survive there, but just not enough from the ROTM engage. And as we talked about as in the early game, this is what RTM's team fight ideal scenario for them, with the Aurelia going in and then Galio jumping in after. Really well played there from RTM, just kind of finding a fight out of nowhere and getting an ace for themselves. So that puts them right back into this game, already tying up the gold.
Yeah, that was just an insane team fight. Behind 3K at 18 and a half minutes, they find a 5-for-0 ace out of nowhere. And now just kind of going to hang around. The dragon has spawned. We'll see if they can secure that, but we might just have the reprise of the fight. Mid lane Hokage just rushes in, finds the taunt onto Pistachio. He's directly on top of Arya's, but he just doesn't have the help in the back pocket. Has to flash away, and he's alive at least.
He does have the teleport, so he might be able to come back in.
Yeah, Kha'Zix was just behind the pit. He might look for a steal on the backside of this. This is a really weird little setup right now for ROTM. Attack mode has started up the dragon. It's down to 3K, down to 2K. Is Aikedo going to jump in and look for it? It's Dragon Slain. Black Salt tries to go in, but just not able to find it. Good Caretaker's Refuge. Aikedo in trouble as he gets hit by the Void Seeker, and it's a big shutdown now for Arya's as they turn that one back around off of the dragon. Mid lane Hokage has nowhere to go. He's going to try to fight his way out, and I don't think that that's going to work out super well for him. At least the kill went to Pistachio if you're an ROTM fan, but you know, right as the gold was evened up, it's another 2,000 gold swing back the other way off of 3 kills. Tendies does grab the mid lane turret in the process, and he'll scoot a boot back to top lane. But wild swings so far in the game.
Yeah, Return to the Middlesticks there, I think, really just needed to give that dragon. They invested so much in the play a minute before. They didn't have Aurelia ult, they didn't have Galio ult, they didn't have the Kha'Zix ult to use to help them in that team fight. And they just have to cut their losses, say, hey, we got our gold difference back. We had a really good fight before this, and we're just not prepared to take this dragon fight. But ended up that they took it anyway, and we see the results of that play out.
Whew. Well, let's take a breath for a second. 21 minutes into the game. Baron has spawned. It's the only neutral objective on the map. Both teams... I was going to say both teams pretty good at taking it, but that's not super the case. ATK mode much better with the double... oh, that was a big chunk with that Predator proc, but the double Kraken Slayer procs from Buddha and Arya's, they'll just demolish the Baron if they get left alone with it. RTM not bad. You have the Kha'Zix isolated damage, but not a whole lot contributed from the rest of the members of the team.
Yeah, you really want the Aurelia there as well. Jhin, not super good at taking Barons, and neither is a Galio, but yeah, that thing will just melt. And we'll have to see if they decide to do something where they bring like Leona, Kai'Sa, and Kindred and try to do a 3-man while the other members kind of distract and say, hey, we're not really on it. RTM's going to have to try to keep the Baron vision around Baron as much as they can so that they're not able to try a play like that and sneak it away. But Tendi's creating some counterplay on the bottom side of the map, picking up a turret for himself, and that's what you like to see. Trying to bring separate members and just have Shen by himself isolated. Has a level lead already on this Shen, so trying to stay in this matchup as much as possible.
I was going to say mid lane Hokage also grabbing the top lane turret, so all 3 outers down for ROTM. It's just this mid lane left alive for either team, and this one will fall in just a second as ATK mode's got priority in mid. Flavor going to clear out some vision in the Baron pit, and he hit the Baron with his ball. That was kind of strange. I don't think that they were quite ready to start it, but yeah, a lot of vision priority over this Baron area right now. I like the idea to 1-3-1 for ROTM, because one of those side lanes you should have an advantage in, especially if you can get the Irelia isolated against the Orianna. But
yeah, that's for sure.
You always risk this. Shen has by far the easiest way to join the fight. Galio has to be a little bit closer to use his global ultimate and join, and then you have the teleports on the Orianna and Irelia.
I have to say I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen Disguised Monkey use his ultimate more proactively. I think at this point you're really pretty strong, especially if you're playing around your Kai'Sa. you could try to make more aggressive plays and try to catch people out with the Shenar. Because you don't really want this matchup isolated against the Aurelia at this point. You just can't win that if you're Shen.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just hit a long-range Void Seeker, you just pop one onto Samso, throw the Shenar on top of him, he can't die, and you should have yourself a pretty free pick. But haven't seen that particular combo just yet. I, biased caster, hope we don't see it, but it's a definite possibility for ATK mode, and mid lane Hokage will wander down, maybe looking for that particular isolated matchup that we mentioned with the Irelia against the Orianna in top lane. Maybe have Galio marking Shen down on the bottom lane. This is really risky, though. They've swept through the red side area, and they've left Baron pretty much visionless. I wonder if the call is to give it up, and ATK mode just aren't calling their bluff. Now finally starting to roll in, but the backs have already been hit for attack mode.
Yeah, and I'm wondering now, it looks like they're going to go towards this dragon area. RTM has kind of swept it out.
Monkey walks in, he gets a big taunt onto Aikedo. He'll get the Galio ult on top. It's a big knock-up. They're trying to find Buddha. He gets ignited, but both junglers forced to invest quite a bit in order to get away from that fight.
Yeah, but I think both junglers are also going to have time to heal here as they go to get some camps that are around. Where there's going to be it'll be interesting to see what happens around this Mountain Drake as both teams kind of reset here.
Yeah, mid lane Hokage going to get taunted up. They're looking for the Galio as Black Salt goes into the back line. He's onto the Orianna. That's a huge taunt from mid lane Hokage as the Jin ult comes on. Aikedo is stolen Dragon on the backside of this, but he's in trouble. He's trying to fly away. A couple of members of RTM have already died, and the fight comes up for ATK mode, but they do lose the Dragon. Aryaz flashes forward. He finds the triple kill. The Kaisa just unmarked on the backside of the fight.
Yeah, this Kaisa is just so strong.
Oh, but here's Tendies. He's looking for the 1v3. Gets the stun. He finds Flavor. It's just not quite enough. It'll be the Bud Light ace for ATK mode, and they'll head to the Baron pit.
Yeah, Tendies going down, definitely securing the Baron here. RTM trying to do what they can. They do pick up the Dragon, but it's going to be all for naught as the attack mode does get this Baron. The Kaisa just rolling here at 9-1 and 6. Arya's just playing so well on this pick, and we see how strong she is.
Ooh, mid lane Hokage trying to interrupt the recall, just not quite in time. Does invest the teleport to get into the fight a little bit sooner, and yeah, it's a rough go of it now for ROTM. That's another big gold swing, and now out to 5,000 gold. The big advantage that they've gotten is those two dragons. They've completely delayed the Mountain Soul and opened it up as a potential win condition if they can just sneak out another two of them.
Yeah, but it's going to be really hard for Return of the Middlesticks to find any way onto these dragons. It does delay, make sure that we don't see an Elder or a Soul fight probably. But we'll have to see how much this Baron ends up costing them for that Drake. But so far, not really much happening off this Baron push.
Yeah, so far doing a really good job matching these waves, continuing to be annoying and shove them out. And ATK mode just a little bit slow to gather priority. You can see Buddha's still killing a couple of jungle camps. A little bit leisurely with this Baron buff. Aikedo's got a flank position. I don't know that they can find the fight onto Aryas that they need. And especially with Buddha in the back pocket with the Spirit's Refuge. Oh, he's going to walk in? He's not going to walk in. I think Aikedo knows that he's there, though. You can see Kha'Zix just salivating, waiting for the prey to walk into him.
Yeah, and so far, nothing really happening out of this Baron push. So they did get some gold from the Baron, but they haven't gotten any tower damage really at all so far. And
yeah, I think that this is the first minion wave in bottom lane to touch a tower. That's a really good call out. And you know, maybe now this mid lane push is going to find a little bit of root. The Void Seeker comes through, going to find the Kha'Zix, but they're still defending the minion wave relatively well. There's this annoying cannon, but they can walk up and hit it. And yeah, it feels like ATK mode just not foot on the throttle, just kind of sitting back for whatever reason. They know that they have the scaling composition. They do have the fed double marksman, but you'd still like to see them pressure just a little bit more. There's the Solar Flare. They're going to get the pick onto Black Salt to start it off. Galio ult invested just to try to rejoin the fight. The Kindred ult not doing a whole lot on the backside of the fight. Kind of feels forced as Jin snipes coming through. 2, 3. Oh, that was number 4. I miscounted, but not able to find the kill in return. Arya's steps forward, gets a lot of damage down onto Tendies. The Vanguard's Edge comes out just to try to dissuade everything, but it's just the one pick onto Black Salt, and we'll see if ATK mode can continue to make the play off of it. Stand United still available from Disguised Monkey, though.
Yeah, and this Baron is about to go down here. They do end up getting the kill as the Baron falls and the turret, but they might be able to get 2 just because RTM had to back.
Yeah, Tendi's looking for the stuns, gonna find one onto Buddha, but the tower's already down. That's a big shockwave onto the back line of ROTM. Taunt from mid lane Hokage, trying to prevent Arya's from getting in, but he's still relatively healthy. He's got the Shen ult on top. Tendi's is dashing around. They find the shutdown onto Kindred. Arya's is still alive. He's kiting back around, but he gets shut down by Samso. Tendi's defending with his life, but Flavor able to take him down. It's just mid lane Hokage and Samso left alive, but so's the base, I guess. Not the worst fight in the world.
No, and they do get some gold back for themselves. RTM finding a resourceful fight on opponents that are a lot stronger and have more gold than them. So nice to see that they were able to find something for themselves there. But 2 turrets down in the mid lane, and that exposed inhibitor is going to be a pressure point for them as this dragon comes to spawn.
Well,
I think it's really big. Tendi's picking up the Sterix Gauge as a 3rd item. It's really smart. It's going to save him from some of the burst damage that Kaisa and this Kindred's going to be able to do. And also allow him to dive in and be that delivery service for the Galio. We'll have to see how that works out here in this fight if that's able to be used.
Yeah, I'm imagining that'll be a Death's Dance 4th item as well. That would feel like a good investment from Chicken Tenders too. Sorelda's Grudge is finished up for Aikedo.
Wow.
And he'll, that dragon didn't live for very long.
No, not at all. Yeah, you blink and Kaisa and Kindred just basically kill that in a couple autos apiece. So not really anything RTM was able to do there if they even wanted to fight. Just goes down so fast.
ROTM kind of backs against the wall. Inhibitor tower down. 5,000 gold advantage for attack mode. We'll see if they can find anything. Right now, Disguised Monkey's still pushing out this bottom lane. I think the big thing I'm looking for is that Death's Dance on Tendi. Sorry, I hit some buttons on accident. Is the Death's Dance on Tendi's. If he can hit that power spike, I think that they'll be in an okay spot. They're going to initiate onto Budoka's, dive back in. Spirit's Refuge this time is much better. As Aikedo onto the backside of the fight, they find the assassination onto the Kaisa, but can they actually turn the rest of it? Buddha's still alive on the backside. They'll taunt up Tendi's, they'll finish him off. Samso and mid lane Hokage, the only 2 alive. Pistachio body blocks the Justice Punch. It's a double kill for Buddha, and Samso the last line of defense for RTM. Aikedo, I guess, somehow got out of that fight. He's still alive, hanging around, but I don't know that he can find the assassinations that they'd need. It's the Jin and the Kazakhs looking for it. Buddha jumps forward. Aikedo goes forward. He finds the shutdown. Can he get out? He does! That might be a game-saving play, honestly.
Yeah, and I think if Buddha actually had some backup there, they might have been able to just finish the game, but he goes forward by himself, and Aikedo finds the kill after the over-aggression, trying to kill off Samso there. And that's definitely going to save the game, keep ROTM alive for the time being. But we see how big of a difference that Kindred ult can make in these fights if you pop it correctly. And Aikedo trying to find another pick here.
Yeah, trying to find Disguised Monkey. He's got the evolved leap going forward. Needs the slow again. He's got it. They're still looking for it. They dodged the Void Seeker. That was important. Otherwise, Arya's might have been able to turn it around immediately. So investing a little bit to try to find that pick, not successful. But they'll start up the Baron. This is pretty YOLO. The Shen, actually, wait, the Kindred and the Orianna are in base. Orianna going to teleport in. Can Pistachio and Arya's get in for the steal? Tendies and Black Salt body blocking. They secure the Baron. Black Salt in on the back line. Big shockwave, though. That was huge from Flavor, but it's getting turned just a little bit back. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's all going the way of attack mode. It looked okay for a second, but now Samso and mid lane Hokage trying to defend. They need to get back to base. Jin ult opened up just to try to be annoying. He's trying to kite back, but mid lane Hokage's got super minions on the base as Arya's and Budoka's and Pistachio are headed in. Disguised Monkey is going to prevent Samso from backing. This really isn't important in the grand scheme of things. We need to see what's going on in the base. The minion wave's at least been cleared for the time being. Samso gets the stun down onto Disguised Monkey. He'll finish off the shutdown and he'll be able to base with no more molestation, but can they actually defend against this 4-man squad from attack mode? Mid lane Hokage in, trying to find some Winds of War damage. Black Salt has respawned as well. He's looking for Budoka's. Doesn't want to pull the trigger on that one. Voidseeker lands. They're diving forward. They're on to Samso. There's a big kill onto the Jin, and attack mode still looking for a little bit more. A 4-man taunt from mid lane Hokage trying to turn this in the base. Tendies is forward. They kill off both of the marksmen, and they'll finish that one off. It's a triple kill for Aikedo, but the base is in shambles.
Yeah, RTM on their dying breath every time coming up, finding some fight to keep themselves in the game. First, they get the Baron off a kind of sneaky play. They see Kindred basing, they're able to actually get in there and get the Baron for themselves, and then just coming up with just enough time there to get the kills that they needed to prevent the game from ending. This dragon is going to be spawning here in 45 seconds, and that is sole point for attack mode, and could be the difference that we've been seeing in these fights between them living and dying.
Whew. A small exhalation. 30 seconds, like you said, on this mountain dragon. Let's take a look at some of the new things that we have available. The Zanya's Hourglass for mid lane Hokage should help him a little bit with some safety. The Death's Dance is finished for Tendies too, so those were kind of some big items coming through for ROTM. But on the other side, Buddha is huge. He's finished his 4th item, the Runan's Hurricane on the Kindred. You have 4.5 items, including a QSS on Arya's. So it's going to be very difficult to lock down these 2 marksmen.
Yeah, I don't know if RTM's going to be able to
dragon
get
is
this
just
in
going
time.
down. Aikedo steals it, but is that going to cost too much for them? He'll fall in the process. Mid lane Hokage in, not quite able to assassinate Arya's. He'll fall. It's a double kill for Shen. Can the 3-man squad of RTM actually defend? I don't know that they can, but that was a pretty clutch steal from Aikedo.
Yeah, Arya's is half health here. That's kind of the only thing that they can use, and there's no Shen R, so we'll have to see if RTM's able to actually defend this for this dragon, but...
Ultimate onto Buddha, just trying to buy some time. That's a big shockwave, though. Tendies is down, so Samso and Black Salt. It's gonna be game number 1 for attack mode. Really well-played game by them. ROTM trying to hang on. They had such a good early game, but then 2 plays in a row meant that they got snowballed on super hard, and then heroic fights in their own base, but not able to turn it around ultimately.
Yeah, RTM putting up a good fight, even from a deficit for most of the game. Arya's just played so well on this Kaisa, did so much damage. And I think overall, the Kindred pick was so big. That Spirit's Refuge able to come out and just kind of stop everything that RTM wanted to do when they would dive in for fights. So really well-played game 1 from attack mode.
Yeah, we'll see if our team can turn it back around in game number 2. We'll load up in just a couple minutes. You won't want to miss it. We'll see if the boys can bounce back or if ATK mode can take a quick 2-0. I realized like halfway through that game how hungry I was. Pretty unfortunate.
Well, hopefully you got a snack.
I don't have a whole lot to really snack on without committing too much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like being up here. I want to move down to spectator. It's scary.
I'll trade you. How about that? And
There's a lot of diamond
I can be
players
scared.
in this game. Also, kind of weird that
I
I'm
see you're
listed as-
unranked.
Oh, it says unranked. It says silver 4 for me, which is my provisional flex queue ranking. But
Oh, interesting.
I shouldn't have a rank.
Yeah, I see unranked on my screen. Maybe that's just
Okay.
for you.
Yeah, that's weird. I need to get ranked in TFT. I got almost up to like a respectable enough place I could show up in these lobbies and like, you know, join a team and no one would have noticed really.
Mhm.
Oh, I need to pay out for the prediction. Oh man,
Sad times for the RTM betters.
yeah. I mean, there was one better on each side. It was 90 points to 6,000. It was 91. It's a huge payout for. Oops.
We'll have to see if Otso gets his wish for 6k points. He's saying I really hope that RTM bans Kindred, and I think that would be a smart decision if they try to play another comp with the Galio or with some dive. I'll have to see what they end up doing, but we are getting into the ban phases here in game 2. Vayne already off the board here for RTM. And we'll have to see with the switch of sides. I assume that RTM is not going to let Kaisa get through to attack mode. I would expect them to first pick it based on how good Arias was on the pick last game. But so far, ban's exactly the same until that Kennen ban.
Yeah, the Kennen and even earlier priority to ban. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with our. Oh, like I would have expected that to be a Kindred ban, and wouldn't have batted an eye. We'll see what ATK mode wants to do. Probably debating an Irelia ban here. Wouldn't blame them for that.
Yeah, attendees did perform well on that pick, but
Oh,
they're gonna go with the
take
Kaisa. I like that they don't really want to give it over. Is probably the premier ADC of the patch, so don't want to give it over to your opponents if you can help it. We're gonna see the Galio locked in already.
Yeah, Galio again, flex pick. Mid lane Hokage had a really good game on it, honestly. Has had some shakier performances so far in UML, but looked really good on that Galio. He was everywhere on the map early on. Had a couple of huge taunts to try to delay the game. Just that one dive in top lane, if that hadn't happened, would have been an almost flawless game from him.
Yeah, it played really well on it and used the Predator really well. And I think that's something that I've seen some players not be able to execute well on. But even as early as like level 3 was able to roam up there with the first boots into top lane and help Tendies out. So had a good performance on it, landed some big taunts when needed, but the Kindred ult just proving too big for RTM to overcome.
Couple seconds left on this pick. We'll see what ATK would want to lock in. It's going to be the Akali. So kind of off of the tier list. And by the tier list, I mean the established tier list of the series. Seraphine, going to be the hover. That one would almost certainly be mid lane Hokage, and that would put the Galio in support if that's what we saw. But instead, going to look at the Misfortune. Misfortune is stronger solo queue pick. I'm surprised we don't see it more often in LCS as strong as it is, but kind of understandable why. Oh, it's the Samira. All right.
Yeah, Samira really strong pick right now, especially if you can get a champion to pair it with that has some CC. I'm kind of expecting to see RTM either decide to throw that Galio down there or pick their support up here.
Yeah,
We'll have to see what they Yep.
okay, it's gonna be the Leona. That's not the most traditional Samira lane. Usually you'll see the Alistar or the Rel.
Mhm.
But Leona, I'm sure works. I haven't seen that lane as much.
Yeah, I think anyone that can set up for her, and thankfully we don't see the Kindred come out even with the Galio and Samira dive that we're seeing from the ROTM already assembling for themselves. Kind of surprised that they didn't elect to pick it there, but decided that they want the Thresh Jhin matchup. We'll have to see if ROTM does decide to ban it away.
Yeah, so Jarvan going to be taken away by ATK mode. Kind of interesting. Wukong. These are some picks we haven't, weren't seen in game number 1. I guess the Jarvan was also banned. But yeah, kind of interesting to see the Akali and the Wukong kind of come from out of left field almost.
Yeah, we're going to see the Kindred banned away for RTM. I think that's really good. Again, with that Galio being able to dive onto the backline and not have all that damage just erased by a Kindred ult is very big. But that does mean that they gave, since they didn't pick Tendies in the first rotation, that Aurelia is going to come off the board. So we'll have to see what he decides to pick up for himself. Expecting a Riven potentially, or we might see one of his other priority picks.
Yeah, the Akali taken away does also knock him a little bit further down on the tier list. The Hecarim, or the Kindred band that Otso wanted finally comes through. And then the Hecarim going to be picked. And there's the Talia Riven combo. So now ATK mode get their opportunity to get a counter pick into Riven. And we'll see what Disguised Monkey wants this game. The Shen seemed fine. I don't know why you would change that necessarily. But we'll see what he wants to play.
Yeah, Shen does match up pretty well into Riven. Was able to handle a lot of pressure that RTM threw at them last game. But we're going to see a carry versus carry matchup as Aatrox comes through.
Yeah, the Boris is... it's a decent matchup into the Riven. Basically, that's... the meme when Boris was released was that's new Riven versus old Riven, right? They both have the 3-hit Qs. But yeah, I'm really curious to see... Not a whole lot of top laners really want to go toe-to-toe with Tendies, so... We'll see how Disguised Monkey can play this one out. He had some decent success throughout the FPL finals in a wide array of matchups, but for now, the Aatrox into the Riven. Oh, I need...
Yeah, that's why you were scared of being up there earlier. Didn't want to get
I usually, as soon as I get into the lobby, I jump immediately into spectate. And they couldn't handle my jungle anyway, so... Casting and playing jungle against Aikedo at the same time. There's nothing I can't do. Alright. So yeah, prediction up for game number 2, ATK mode. On match point, looking to close out the series against Return of the Middlesticks. Some pretty explosive team comps coming through, but it seems like it falls back a little bit into what we saw in game number 1, where RTM have a little bit more difficult to execute overall idea. But this time ATK mode not going for the pure team fight. They have some assassins, they have a couple of other things. It's going to be a scrappier game, I think.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I don't really mind that the Aatrox pick did come out. I think with Jhin and Akali, you have a lot of burst potential, but you don't have a lot of DPS. And I think that's where something like the Aatrox and the Hecarim can come in and give you a little bit more scrap. And we'll have to see how Aatrox does in lane with the Riven. Riven with a lot of mobility can make it hard for Aatrox to land his Q, but I think it'll be a really entertaining matchup. These teams look like a lot of fun for a game.
Yeah, so our second pick and ban phase going on. I'm particularly interested in the Akali into the Galio. That's not the best matchup for Akali. Usually Galio picked almost as a counter to it. So I'm curious to see how well Flavor will be able to navigate that lane.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because Galio can taunt Akali out of her shroud, which reveals her. So you don't get a lot of use out of the shroud unless you're using it just as a way to reset some of your energy or after the Galio taunt comes out. But it does give her a chance. I don't think it gives her a lot of kill pressure in lane, but it does give her a chance to probably scale up a little bit. Galio not the strongest Punisher. And so if Akali can just come out and be even or even up and farm, even if they doesn't get any kills on the champion, I expect her to be pretty useful in the mid to late game.
Yeah, well, another 3-minute cooldown for champion select. Arya's and Flavor, a little bit of manner trading going on here. Of course, you're not required to pick your champion until you load into the game, so no issue there. But
I think I really do like the Talia pickup. Ooh, as we get out of band here.
All right.
We can see that their trading looked a little weird, and now we know why. It's a little bit bugged on the.
It's kind of weird. They didn't need to do any trading, but still did. So we couldn't three-way switch.
And he's bringing up some good points.
Yeah. Client is bugged. Okay, well.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to sit through this again, but hopefully it'll be pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm curious what they're talking. Are they going to play Aatrox mid and Akali top lane? Is that the big switch that they're trying to do?
I could see that working out. I think it probably is a better matchup for both of them. Yeah, very possible that ends up coming through. It looked like it was going to be fine to me, but that's might be what they end up doing, and it does look like they blocked the Akali in the top lane. So good call on that.
Yeah, I don't know why they needed to do the switch necessarily. Like, it's enough of a. I feel like you can lock it in either way, then walk to either lane, and it's not like a huge surprise,
Right.
We have been hyping up the Riven Aatrox, but like Riven Akali works kind of similar. I do like the Aatrox into Galio though a little bit better than the Akali, because now you're doing physical damage, and you don't have the issue of getting pulled out of your shroud. You have a lot of sustain, so you can't get just whittled down by the Galio. That feels like a much better matchup, whereas the Riven matchup's kind of a wash IMO.
Yeah, and absolutely, like Aatrox is able to take a lot more advantage of that lane too. Galio being one of the few melee mid laners that's in the meta right now, you're able to be in range of your Q without having to use that first dash, which is really big for Aatrox's full combo. So I like the decision to switch up the lanes there. That's probably what they had in mind, but wanted to disguise it a little bit and not give it away right at the beginning of the draft phase to try to mess with Middlesticks' plans. So
I love it. I caught it earlier. We got raided by B-Pods with a party of 0, so just a huge raid. I love that it says that like in my activity feed. That's
the big raid coming through.
We appreciate the support nonetheless, but
it's the thought that counts, not the numbers.
For sure. Well, this timer is going to lie to us. We'll have 3 more minutes to look at everything. But our team now backs against the wall, down 0-1 in this series. Need a win here to force a game 3, and also, I think more importantly, in the grand scheme of things, it's if you don't win here, you're down to needing to win 2 of your last 3, basically. Well, your last 2 games, honestly. You'll have to beat FTD Hotel and you'll have to beat University of Michigan in order to qualify for playoffs. And even then, you'll be the 3rd seed. You'll get a rougher first-round matchup in that situation.
Yeah. So this is a really big game for RTM. I do like the comp that they came up with. I think the Talia pick is actually really big. She's able to throw those rocks down, and every single member, except for the Jhin, can activate those rocks with a dash. You've got Aatrox E, you've got Akali dashes. Hecarim, when he goes in and hits you with his E, actually counts as a dash as well. Thresh is a little bit more cerebral. You have to choose to go through the dash there with the Q pull through, but I think the Talia pick was really big, and also just a good pick in the meta right now. Very strong as well.
Yeah, I really like seeing that one come out. It's going to be harder to talk about the solo lane matchups now that we know that they're flipped just a little bit. But so let's focus in just a little bit on this bottom lane. I really like the Thresh pick in this situation. It feels like Pistachio got really good value out of that, assuming that his flight game is on point.
Yeah, it's a really nice pick into the Samira, because it's not like one of those abilities that's like hard to CC her with. You've got a little bit of range to use to get her to stop her ultimate, which is nice on the Flay. RTM, I think, with the Samira pick, it does give them a little bit of a range disadvantage. They're going to look to dive you and dive you and dive you, and that's about their only play. It's not something that they're going to be able to like whittle you down very well, because Samira doesn't have super long range potential. Whereas you can play from a little bit of a arms width away for attack mode with the Thresh and Jhin.
Yeah, well, 40 seconds left on the spectator delay. Thanks again for watching. If you don't follow the stream, please hit the follow button, as that does help support us. If you have a Twitch Prime sub, or have some money burning in your pocket, we would also really appreciate a subscription to the channel. I know I haven't discussed it with my fellow admins, but if we do hit that first Twitch payout, I was kind of planning on paying a little bit of that back to the community, and having like a Rodham game night where we just give away some stuff, play some games, just chill. But hopefully we can get to there, and your support helps us immensely. So, game number 2.
Queuing up
finally
here.
Loaded up.
Yeah, after the second draft, had to sit all the way through the last one too. So
yeah, big congratulations to us for lasting through 3 drafts and most of 2 spectator delays. Yeah, Samso and Black Salt had the new Shanghai skins, Skinergy. No Skinergy at all in this game. Everybody doing their own thing.
Yep, and Samso on the base Samira skin. Sad to see, but I mean, there's only one skin to have. She hasn't been up that long, so there's always time.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like any of the Sab skins particularly much. Not my aesthetic. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's a big fan of them, but it's not me. That's for sure. But here we are into game number 2 on the blue side of the rift, fighting to stay alive in this series. It's going to be Return of the Middlesticks, and on the top side of the rift, wearing the red health bars for game number 2, looking to close things out our attack mode. And it looks like
had a really good.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just gonna be the 5-point from both sides.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. RTM did the invade last game onto the red buff, but without the hook of the Nautilus is not going to be able to push in it at all, and just going to be a spread out here. They might get the sword though.
Ooh, that's actually not insignificant, as Tendiesel hit level 2 a minion earlier now.
Yeah, and that can be actually pretty big, especially with the Akali deciding to go the Doran's Ring over the Doran's Shield. Gives them a little bit more damage, but if Tendies hits level 2 and is able to get a better trade-off, it's going to be harder for Akali to stay in this lane.
Yeah, so both junglers going to start on their bottom side buffs. So we could have that big collision up by the top crab or up in the top lane at level 2 or level 3. But yeah, this is kind of what I expect from the Aatrox, is Flavor can play relatively aggressively in this lane and shouldn't be punished super hard. Would be nice, you know, once he gets his W to get some of that healing back, but as we said, I think that's a pretty good matchup. Tendies is doing what he does, level 1, looking for the big trades onto Disguised Monkey and seeding ground. He's going to hit, again, he'll hit level 2 off of the first melee minion, I believe, of the wave, or no, that's normal. He'll hit it off of the last minion of the first wave. Now
That's
that
right.
he's killed the ward.
And he did elect to go for the longsword triple pot, so trying to trade early, burn through those pots for Akali, and try to just kind of out-sustain with the extra pot advantage.
Yeah, Disguised Monkey, I think, completely correctly going to go ahead and seed wave control, so you know, at least a point of emphasis for ROTM. It'll be interesting, again, we mentioned the potential confrontation over the Scuttle Crab, but with top lane shoving in for ROTM and mid lane shoving in for ATK mode, could be a really interesting fight. Oh, Black Salt not quite able to find that Zenith blade to get on top of Arya's. Tendies and Disguised Monkey scrapping it out, but so are Flavor and mid lane Hokage, both solo lanes just erupting. He gets the pullback into the Infernal Chains, and it's first blood for Flavor on the Aatrox. That was actually really nicely done by Flavor, and Disguised Monkey finds the Shuriken flip, and Buddha will charge down Tendies in the top lane, so 2 early kills for ATK mode in the solo lanes, and it looks like that swap paying big dividends so far.
Yeah, Disguised Monkey did a really good job of holding that wave near his turret while Tendies was trading without the pots there, and just kind of holding it there so his jungler had a really easy gank into the top lane. Hecarim just coming in with that ghost is just so fast, and even with a ward down, you really can't stop it if you're pushed up that far in the lane.
Yeah, on the bottom side, kind of without a, you know, getting a big line share of the spotlight, Arya's was forced to flash and returned back to base, so kind of mismatched recalls there. Mid lane Hokage playing a little bit too aggressive. That was a weird animation on the kick. Gonna go in for the taunt. He's still looking for the trade as Flavor trying to dodge back out. Aikido is here throwing in some of those rocks, but not able to find that critical amount of damage. They flash forward looking for Buddha. He gets the knockup off of the Justice Punch. The flash from Aikido actually secures the kill in mid lane, so a decent counter punch from ROTM now, and Flavor is still low, but able to grab up some of these minions underneath the turret.
Yeah, that's going to be both flashes burned, though, from ROTM. Do get the kill, which is really nice. And mid lane Hokage is able to kind of stabilize the lane here after that early death.
Oop, teleport channeled on that last minion from Flavor just to be a little bit annoying. Samso and Black Salt have returned to the bottom lane. Arya's and Pistachio actually hit another recall to go ahead and grab a long sword and some boots for Arya's, as well as some boots for Pistachio. And Samso, I guess, the big longsword advantage. We'll see if he can leverage that in any reasonable amount. But for now, Buddha hovering around this bottom side. They might be looking for a gank. Samso and Black Salt in a pretty aggressive position. They go forward onto Pistachio. Hook going to land onto Black Salt as you can't actually windwall that one out, and they're just going to have to leave the Leona for dead. Although fighting back decently, Pistachio. Samso dives in. Flavor is here. They're going to get the kill on Pistachio. Can he get out? He's got the reset on the dash. He'll dash back through Buddha, but not quite able to get out to safety as Aikido able to join the 2v3, not quite going their way as Tendies and Disguised Monkey fighting it out in the top lane. Not going to find anything significant there. So it's a 1-for-2 trade? No, that's a 1-for-1 trade.
1-for-1.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it is Samso getting a kill for himself, so not the worst, but he does have to expend his heal and flash there. And we see some trading in the mid lane.
Yeah, Flavors hit level 6 and immediately senses that mid lane Hokage can't handle that, and he'll take him down. Tendies goes in looking for the Wind Slash, but can't quite find it on Disguise Monkey. He's still hanging out. The minions are going to kill him if he's not careful. He'll find the kill. It's a dash out. Oh, he doesn't quite live. It's an execution, though. So the murder-suicide, but the gold doesn't go to a Disguised Monkey this time.
Yeah, and no gold back, and it's going to lose out on some of these minions here in the top lane. It's going to TP back to try to pick some of those up, but a 20 CS advantage for Tendies already. Trading almost lived there with the Triumph coming through the shield, but just not enough there.
Yeah, I really like what I've seen out of Black Salt and Samso this game. They had a little would be an understatement. They had a lot of struggle in game number 1 in their bottom lane matchup, but they've turned it back around. They've had some good pressure, and so far have been getting the better of these trades. We'll see if they can keep that one up. Now with the Noon Quiver in Samso's back pocket compared to the Swifty Boots from Arya's for the safety, we'll see if they can find another big initiation onto him and, you know, continue the spot lane pressure.
It's kind of been a different thing from what we saw in game 1, where a lot of the focus for attack mode has been in this top and mid lane, whereas they're not winning as much in the bot lane, where Samso and Black Salt have been able to just get the better of the attack mode bot lane in this game. But so far, even gold. Both teams have a chance to win this game. No significant advantages.
That was a good little trade from Tendies. Mid lane Hokage's been having a rough one in this mid lane. It's kind of like we mentioned. There it is again. That's a third solo kill of the game for Flavor. In the top lane, though, Disguised Monkey taken down by Akedo. The dive from Buddha, not able to find the Onslaught of Shadows. Black Salt takes him down with the Ignite, and the dive fails for attack mode. That's the first unsuccessful play that we've really seen by them all series.
Yeah, didn't quite have enough damage for that dive, and really well played by Samso and Black Salt. They're playing well here through the early game, even with the pressure of that gank, but this Aatrox is really starting to become a problem.
Ooh, Solar Flare hit his level 6, immediately grabbed Samso, trying to stack up toward that Crimson Inferno. Can he get their Flavors hanging around the wing? That's going to be enough to deter them. He's able to sidestep out of the Infernal Chains. He's got it ready. Can he get in range to actually pop it? Doesn't look like a curtain call going to be opened up. They get the Galio ult for a little bit of safety, but Black Salt has already fallen. Galio able to rejoin. Can they actually close the distance? Taunt lands onto Pistachio, but now all of those style markers have fallen off of Samso, and they won't be able to find that return kill. So a good roam by Flavor is able to net them get them a net positive on that trade.
Yeah, and it even gets the Galio ult out, and mid lane Hokage already down a level is going to be having a rough time. Well, they might get a catch here.
Yeah, Samso doesn't know about this. The hook to the minions into the flay. That's really nicely played so far. Samso going to fall. He dashes forward. Oh! He almost had that. He almost had the 1v2, but it's not quite enough. Tendies, meanwhile, has found Disguised Monkey separated. He'll hit him with the Wind Slash and get the solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, we see how much health this bot lane walks out as Akedo tries to get it.
Oh, he just wasn't in time to actually track down. So Weaver's Wall invested for basically nothing. If he'd popped off on the other side, he could have definitely killed Pistachio, but wanted the AD carry instead.
Yeah, but it might be the dragon for RTM as they go ahead and start that up with the bot lane recalled for attack mode. We're going to see mid lane Hokage roam down here, but this Aatrox is really strong.
Yeah, Aatrox is... he's a big boy. He doesn't have his ultimate available right now as Buddha flies in, has the Onslaught of Shadows as he chooses to dive in onto Akedo. The threaded volley is doing quite a bit of damage, but they're trying to disengage for the time being. Mid lane Hokage looking for the trade kill, but it just isn't there. Samso gonna dash out. That's good play by Black Salt to get over to allow him to dash. Dragon for mid lane Hokage, that's not the worst trade given the way the early game has gone.
Yeah, but that is going to put the Scalio even further behind with another death. I'm going to lose out on this mid wave. Well, actually going to TP back for it, but a lot has been invested by mid lane Hokage to just kind of help his other lanes out that haven't really netted anything for him or his team. It's not like a Galio has to farm a lot to be super useful, but definitely don't want to be too far behind, so you actually have a way into these fights.
Yeah, Buddha looking for the gank and a kickback. Tendies, he has the ultimate popped. Looking for the turnaround. Aikedo is here. He finds the execution onto the Hectorim. It'll be the counter shutdown from Disguised Monkey. Flavor pops the World Ender, looking for Aikedo in the top lane. It'll just force the flash out of the Talia. Meanwhile, Black Salt and Samso getting zoned off of the minion wave currently by Pistachio and Arias.
Yeah, and that TP is going to be invested from Flavor, which is actually really big because it allows mid lane Hokage to pick up a couple waves and try to get himself some gold. They end up trading 1-for-1 in a numbers advantage for attack mode. So overall, a pretty good play for Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, Samso and gonna just continue on to Pistachio. He can actually wind wall the hook. It was interesting.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't in range last time.
Okay. Anyway, Aikedo hanging around the Solar Flare already used. They're on top of Arias. The dash in for the Inferno trigger. They'll take down Pistachio immediately, and Arias has nowhere to run. He's trying to kite back out, but it'll eventually fall to the threaded volley. A big shutdown for Aikedo as Tendies gets aggressed on in top lane, trying to dive back out. Galio ult coming in, but it's not quite going to be in time to save the Riven, and he'll have to dash back out. Buddha in hot pursuit. There's nowhere safe for mid lane Hokage really to run right now. With Flavor trying to collapse, he has that little dash over the wall. The kick back isn't quite there because of the flash from mid lane Hokage, but he does invest the Onslaught of Shadows, and they should eventually take down the Galio at the end of this one.
Yeah, it plays on the opposite sides of the map. They're netting different results. Return the Middlesticks finds 2 kills for themselves, but just when they got a good play for themselves, attack mode finds 2 kills in the top side. Mid lane Hokage electing to go in and try to save Tendies when he had not a lot of HP. When I think it would have been a just better play to let Tendies die there, and just try to get some more farm for himself. And but it's really hard when you're playing picks like Galio or Shen. You really want to be there to help out your team, and you have to really know the balance of what you can do. But Disguised Monkey getting chased down here by Tendies.
Yeah, forced to eat a couple of tower shots because of that ultimate pop by Flavor as he's looking for Aikedo. Taunt from mid lane Hokage as he's able to swoop in, and it'll get the flash out of the mid laner. So all things considered, not terrible. The gold lead has opened up to about 1,000 right now for ATK mode, which, given the state of the game, doesn't feel like a huge amount, honestly. Our team doing a good job hanging in so far.
Yeah, and Samso's actually really strong right now. Already up to his completed item on the shield bow, whereas Jin hasn't quite completed his. Tendies getting that first tower all by himself there, and that was before turret plates went down. So more than just the insane farm lead in the top lane, he's also got a whole tower worth of plates. And I think that's where a lot of this gold difference is being made up for RTM.
Yeah, you've got it there. Your junglers are about even. ADC is about even, so it's just the mid lane difference versus the top lane difference for both sides is basically equalized everything right now. Aikedo went in to try to steal Buddha's red buff, not quite able to do that. Will eventually take his own, but 11 kills to 9 in favor of attack mode. The one dragon in the pocket of ROTM, but we'll see that be a point of contention right now as there's 15 seconds left on an Ocean Dragon spawn.
Yeah, and Tendies has already expected to a lot of cooldown, getting the Lucidity boots as well as the Kindle gem and the 10% or the 10 that you also get from
Black Salt walking
your
in,
Hydra
gets
here.
The stun onto Buddha, looking for it. Tendies gets hooked, unfortunately for him, but they'll take down Pistachio to start off the fight. The current Inferno trigger from Samso trying to get down Flavor, but he's so tanky with that Gore Drinker, he'll eventually be shut down by Samso. He gets a second ult off, Disguised Monkey is low, but Arias is able to execute him over the wall. It's a double kill for the Jin, and now Black Salt has to dodge for his life, but he can't do it. It's a triple kill for Arias. Mid lane Hokage will eventually get tracked down as well. He gets kicked by Buddha and finished off. Aikedo the last one alive for ROTM, but it's just the jungle ADC combo left now for attack mode. Pistachio's already respawned. He's headed back into the fight right now. Is Aikedo going to go for this? I don't think he can. Now with Pistachio there, I think he just has to give it up.
Yeah, and it makes it really hard to try to sacrifice for yourself when you're the one with the 450 gold shutdown. You know, you don't want to give that over just for one Drake early in the game. RTM there finding a good fight and was able to pick up the first batch of kills there, but just on the backside of that fight, attack mode was able to pick up some kills at the end. And really Flavor did so much damage there, even though he went down, was able to kind of in a 3v1 find a lot of damage on the RT members, but Tendy's fighting in the top lane.
Yeah, Tendy's going to force the flash out of Disguised Monkey. Aikato in his back pocket now will steal away some of these Krugs. Still the pressure on the top side of the Rift going in favor of ROTM. Bot side of the Rift, you know, is fine. It's just Flavor has been huge and instrumental so far. This doesn't look super great for RTM though, is Buddha able just to chase down Aikato in the jungle. That's a huge shutdown for him. Tendy's still looking for it as he hops over the wall. He gets the win. Oh, that was nutty. He's going to find Flavor on the other side of the pit. I don't think that he can kite successfully back away from the Aatrox, and he'll fall to the last Darkened Blade. In the bottom lane, they're going for it as well. The Zenith Blade not quite able to connect onto Arya's, but they're on a Pistachio. They're trying to take down the Thresh. It's going to be the Flash, and the Zanya's invested for him. In comes mid lane Hokage as well. Arya's is able to shut down Samso on the backside. The R2 from Disguised Monkey will finish off another kill, and mid lane Hokage forced to flee. He shouldn't turn this back around.
Yeah, Disguised Monkey actually getting a huge teleport there. Is able to get some extra kills and help his bottom lane out. And now kind of the strong points for RTM are starting to fall. This Riven not being able to do enough, but we're going to see if he's able to TP in here and make a difference.
Yeah, flash away from mid lane Hokage, but in comes Tendy's as he's looking for it. Does he actually have enough? He'll take down Pistachio, get the shield back out. Disguised Monkey probably his next target. Oh, no, he's going forward. He's on top of the Jin. They get the shutdown. They get another one on Disguised Monkey. Who's this coming in on the teleport? It's Flavor. He's pretty big, but can he actually cut this back out? The Gore Drinker. Not enough. It's a triple kill for Tendy's in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and just as I thought this Riven was falling off, is able to TP in and just find a really nice play, killing 3 members of attack mode. And now this again is going to be an even gold game. Just a back and forth game from both teams here. Every time you think one has the advantage, it ends up another fight just turns it a few seconds later. So really entertaining game here as we get into the mid game.
Yeah, mid lane turret going to fall for Samso, but Buddha, maybe not able to finish this one off. Tendy's just evaporates that minion wave. Does he actually have the movement speed to close down onto Buddha? No E available as he's already invested it. Tendy's combo should come back up. He's dashing on. This is apparently way more interesting. Okay, Tendy's disengaged from the top lane. That was just a weird time to cut away to Pistachio auto-attacking a word. Tendy's has to be careful. He's got Flavor here. Hits the Blade of the Exile, trying to kite back away, but he's got the rest of the squad in pursuit. They take down Buddha. They're on top of Flavor. He gets the healing. He's ignited, but not quite going to fall as Samso and Black Salt show up at just the right time to save Private Tendy's.
Yeah, Tendy's going in there. Oh, they didn't. They did end up getting the red buff there as well. But Tendy's going in knowing his team had his back. Was the first to rotate to that fight, and they end up getting another kill onto RTM. And this top side of Aikato and Tendy's, very familiar, being where most of the gold lead is, doing a lot there. So
yeah, I'm kind of interested. Mid lane Hokage not able to finish off his mythic item, instead has opted for the heal debuff item, the Chem Tank Purifier. I couldn't think of the name of it. That feels like a good pickup into Flavor, but I worry about his damage output and his tankiness as a result.
yeah, it does kind of affect that, but it also when he does ult, gives his allies debuff healing as well. So at least when you're in these team fights, you might be able to provide some of this grievous wounds to your teammates, so that they don't have to spend extra gold for that. But Tendy's is going to find Buddha in the jungle here in just a short trade.
Yeah, 5 seconds left on this dragon spawn. ROTM, the first one's here. They've camped out. Aikedo a little bit far away right now, just rounding his blue buff corner. Has the ultimate to try to get in as Tendy's looking for the fight. He's on top of Flavor. And in comes the Weaver's Wall, not to deliver Aikedo, but just to separate the fight. They'll take down Flavor to start it off, but in comes Buddha and the Akali. Black Salt onto the backline looking for the stuns. Can they actually finish off any kills? There's a lot of low health bars, but nobody's fallen. Now a couple of members being traded equally. Hook lands onto mid lane Hokage, but it'll be traded out. Double kill for Aryas, but Tendy's gets the knockup. Flash is exchanged, and it's the double kill for Aikedo, and ROTM has won the fight.
Yeah, and that's also going to net the dragon for them. That's going to be the second one of the game. And even though this Riven kind of looked like she was caught out, is able to just heal up so much with the Gore Drinker and also the Hydra. Survive these fights and just chasing attack mode all the way back, even after the first kills are picked up.
Yeah, so the second dragon off the board for RTM. Getting that Mountain Dragon in their back pocket will feel pretty good. It's about a 3,000 gold lead now for ROTM, and we'll see if this swings back the other way once again. Already getting chipped into a little bit by Buddha, grabbing the top lane turret on the back of that play. But let's take a quick gander. Both AD carries have finished off their collectors. You have the Death's Dance. I really like that pickup from Buddha. That means that he's worried a lot more about fighting Samso and Tendy's. Tendy's has found Flavor in the bottom lane. And remember, this Aatrox was the strongest man in the game. He's dominating. He's looking for Disguised Monkey now. Off of one solo kill already. Looking for the second one. Disguised Monkey. Oh, he didn't get over the wall. Not able to clear it. Dodges out of the Jin W. And he'll successfully get out. RTM going to use that opportunity to go ahead and start up the Baron. 8,000 health left on it as ATK mode looking to collapse on it. Can Buddha actually get into the pit? He's got the Onslaught of Shadows available. It's about 3,000 health. Teleport invested by Tendy's. In he comes. It's smited away. It's stolen by Buddha. He'll get trapped up in the pit and taken down. Meanwhile, Tendy's is on to Pistachio on the back end. I don't think these kills are going to ultimately be worth it for ROTM, even if he's able to track down Pistachio on the backside. A really big steal by Buddha.
Yeah, dashing in there, and kind of just the only way that attack mode doesn't lose that play is by getting a steal, and ends up finding it. Buddha having a really good performance in both these games, and is able to pick up the steal for himself and kind of save what would have been a snowball-y game. Flavor finding mid lane Hokage in the top lane. We'll have to see if they're able to chase it out.
Yeah, it's going to take the movement speed from the Aatrox ultimate, force the flash out of mid lane Hokage. Luckily has the God, I can't think of the name of that rune. It gives him movement speed when he uses his flash, though, so he can run away.
Yeah, and RTM, I think they could have just decided to back off that Baron and didn't have to end up going for it, but it had gotten so low they just decided to try to finish it in 50-50. But Tendy's getting a little
is here in the
over-aggressive.
1v3. Teleport going to come in from mid lane Hokage. Black Salt is able to collapse as well. It's going all right for ROTM. They found one. They might find a second one as well. Tendy's is still alive on the backside. He's diving forward. He gets the Galio ult. He's on top of Buddha, and he'll finish him off. Flavor and Arya's on the side are taken down as Samso dives forward. ROTM find 4. They might not be able to track down Arya's, but what a team fight win for ROTM. The dive pulled off successfully, and Tendy's should eventually get the ace. There it is, the Bud Light ace for ROTM, and they'll continue pushing in. Yeah,
and we saw Tendy's being outnumbered there 3-1, but ROTM just comes flying in out of nowhere, helping Tendy's out. They're playing so well around him right now, and he's just so strong, able to get the ace for themselves, and who cares about the Baron when you can just kill them. They're going to get the inhibitor here for themselves as well, and the mid lane tower. So ROTM finding what they need to in this game around Tendy's in this Ribbon pick.
Yeah, now about a 7,000 gold lead. Minute 20 left on that Mountain Dragon. Should be the next point of contention. If I were attack mode, I'd probably give that one up. But then we'll see a scrap around that Baron here in 3 minutes, or the Soul a couple of minutes after that.
Yeah, and I think what's really big about this Ribbon pick is and the way that he's itemized is no one could kill him because Akali is so far behind at this point that she's not gonna kill anyone with the items that she has. And then you've just got kind of burst damage left, and if you don't kill him in that first burst, he's just gonna heal back up with the Death Stance and the Hydra. And it's just so hard with the Galio shield coming out as well. And the resistances from that ult.
Nintendo's still looking for it. The Solar Flare lands onto Buddha. It'll at least force the onslaught of shadows out. So the Leona ult for the Hecarim ult. Honestly, because of the cooldown reduction, looks like a positive trade for ROTM. Disguised Monkey caught on the wrong side of life. He'll dive forward. That's a really nice little combo from him to get out to safety. Oh, he can't take the Lantern. He gets bumped off of it by the Talia W, and they'll find Pistachio on the backside as well. The Ignite will eventually do the damage as Tendies is legendary. They're shoving in with this super minion wave. They're looking for the dive actually onto Arya's here in the mid lane. This seems like a little bit of an over-aggression here from ROTM. Oh, but they're escorting the minion wave. There's 2 super minions with it as they'll start wailing away on Nexus turret number 1. They had a surrender vote for some reason. That's kind of interesting. Black Salt dives in. Arias is low. The Galio ult over the top as Samso goes legendary. He pops off. Mid lane Hokage is suddenly on a rampage. He was 1-7, but he's going to finish 6-7 in this game. They'll clean up a couple of kills and force ATK mode back into their into their fountain. Nexus turret number 1 is already down. Nexus turret number 2 will fall as well. Disguised Monkey kites back, staying alive. The taunt lands as they gonna finish off a couple more. Samso's on a killing spree. They need to make sure that somebody stays alive. Okay, Akedo gonna be the responsible one and auto down the Nexus to send us to game number 3.
Yeah, it just kind of picked up where game 1 left off. Both teams just scrapping so much. ROTM flipped the coin and it came up heads enough times around this Riven pick and was able to get the game 2 win.
Well, we're going to need a breather here, but we'll be right back with match point game number 3 between Return of the Middlesticks and Attack Mode. You won't want to miss it. This game was pretty explosive. I can't wait to see what they've got in store for game number 3. Oh, and I get right into spectate. Let's go.
Was not quite as lucky.
Oh, they're keeping red side. I think he finished 6-8 because he executed the turret or the fountain laser, but
Oh,
we'll
right.
watch that one. wonder what happens on a prediction if the vote goes the opposite direction of the one side that predicted it. Do the points just go into the ether?
I'd assume so. I think they just get lost. It goes to the house, obviously. I should get it because I'm a mod, and I can't vote legally. So
You still earn channel points though, right?
yeah, I still earn channel points.
Yeah,
I just can't exacerbate them by voting.
Yeah, I do not earn channel points. I have infinity channel points and I can't redeem anything. So, little.
It's so sad.
Oh, you need to jump down.
Oh, yep.
Once everybody
to.
stops flailing around. Kind of upset we didn't get the competitive allowy from you.
Yeah, just didn't find a good time to play it, and also the champion's kind of in a bad spot right now, so.
I think that champion's permanently in a bad spot.
I know. It's a fun champ to play, it's just, I don't know. I'd be interested to try out on the new items. I think it's just really a big lane bully, but doesn't really do much if you don't get a lead, you know?
Yeah, you should be slapping on the Swain though right now.
Yeah, I was the old Swain one trick. I played the hell out of that champ when he was
it's not
in the
new
old
Swain at
version.
all? Okay.
No, I think he's my most played still from when I just one tricked him, but I was the I watched Quas, so I was just like whatever he played, I played, so I started playing Swain and Alawi. Oh man.
Well, welcome to draft for game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. RTM able to equalize in game number 2. I like this adaptation. RTM bans the Kindred in the first rotation, and Galio and Kaisa taken away from ATK mode. I guess mid lane Hokage, you know, the last 10 minutes were enough to ban that away from
Yeah, they got 7 deaths onto him, and then we're like, we don't want him on that champion anymore. Definitely was useful even when it was far behind, but it left the Camille up, and RTM gets it first pick.
Yeah, the Gragas is something that's been played into it. Could also be the flex. I mean, a 3-way flex. It works support, it works jungle.
Or do we see it mid lane? 4-way flex.
I mean, I have seen some AB. Oh, the Wukong. Okay. We're just going to match strength with strength. I can't imagine it's a jungle Wukong. I don't think that's super strong right now. So that should be the Wukong top lane, and the Gragas either jungle or support now as a result of that.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to see those 2 picks come back to back. You'd think, you know, you might want to leave the Gragas as like a flex or something, but definitely the Wukong has been banned away in the other 2 games for RTM, and we're going to see the Seraphine lock in. Definitely something mid lane Hokage has played, but I've seen Samso play a little bit of it as well. And a very strong pick in the meta right now is able to just provide so much healing and shielding with the Moonstone Renewer. I was watching a game this weekend, and I think it was TSM and C9, where Sven played Seraphine, and he had like 11,000 healing from Moonstone at the end of the game. So
just a couple.
Just a little bit. Misfortune gonna be picked up, and I think it's smart for attack mode to go ahead and take the Leona away. Good pairing with the Misfortune, of course, and also gives them some engage options. But does give away that Gragas is gonna go probably towards jungle.
Yeah, if this isn't a Talia ban, I don't know what attack mode are doing. But already taking the Graves off of the table, they have the option to pinch. I guess they could pinch support if they wanted to, but it's going to be the Hecarim. I wonder if they're trying to bait the Talia then.
Yeah, it's very possible. Or maybe they pick it up for themselves and put Gragas mid, but I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, or Gragas, I guess it can't be support with Leona. Yeah, that would be very strange.
Solo lane Leona, here we go.
It could still be the Wukong jungle, I guess. We could be overthinking
True.
this, and it could be the Gragas top. Yeah, it's a hard draft to piece together. I think we're a little bit more settled on our OTMs. But attack mode now, 2 seconds. It's going to be the Jhin. That doesn't really give away a whole lot. That makes sense. So ROTM, they have the Talia available. They have a support left open, probably, more than likely.
Yeah, will definitely be some type of engage in the support position. My guess is it'll be the Nautilus because it pairs well with the Misfortune. And it's also just Black Salt's most comfortable champ. But we're going to see the Braum locked in.
Yeah, I think maybe just a little put off of the Nautilus after game number 1. Opting for a little bit safer, the Warden pick the Braum. We'll see how that goes. You still have that synergy. You have the Glacial Fissure into the bullet time. You can still do kind of the same thing with it, but now you have the added safety of being able to defend from the Jhin bullets. I don't hate it, but we'll see what this last pick is for ROTM. And it's the Talia. I feel like that's kind of calling the bluff of an ATK mode. And we'll see if they were in fact trying to bait the Talia pick and what this is going to be. I'm expecting something kind of strange, though, as they've knocked themselves down the tier list as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the last mid lane pick is, and I'm kind of surprised that they left it all the way toward this last point here, but Orianna makes a lot of sense. Combos really well with the Wukong or the Leona, able to just get in there and deliver that shockwave to the heart of ROTM's team comp, and should be pretty entertaining here. Both mid laners just kind of trying to support the team as best they can. The Seraphine's going to do a little bit better job of that, while the Orianna gives you more damage output. And exciting drafts from both sides here as we hopefully get into the game soon.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Both teams, I think, got comps that suit them very well. We saw attack mode with the big 5v5 team fights in game number 1, and they've locked themselves in another big, good team fighting comp. You got the blender with the Orianna Wukong. You got Leona for initiation. You have, a lot of really good pieces to find fights that you need. For ROTM, you have a super strong 4-man squad with the Seraphine and Braum able to support Talia and MF. But then you have Tendies 2 on his Camille, and if he can get ahead in a side lane, that pick should honestly just carry through the game.
Yeah, Camille's just super strong in the meta right now, and when you have things like Seraphine to help enable her as well as you get to the late game team fighting, she's going to be able to do a lot of damage, and that was banned away in game 1 and 2, and so we'll have to see how Tendies performs on it, but has had really stellar performances in both games, so I expect him to perform well. I think the big question is where this Wukong and Gragas end up going. Both are pretty good matchups into the Camille. I think Gragas does a little bit better because you are tankier and can survive more of the burst. But both champs do decently well. Gragas has the body slam to knock her out of her E, and Wukong can also dance around the E by using his clone and kind of dashing away from the area. So it looks like it's going to be the Wukong for Disguised Monkey, unless they decide to do some fancy trading here at the end.
I wonder if that's the eponymous Disguised Monkey, if that's the, Wukong one-trick name almost. Maybe that's why it's been so feared so far.
Yeah, I mean, ROTM did ban it both rotations. second rotations in game 1 and game 2. So tried to ban it out, but I think Tendies is probably happy handshaking this Camille for Wukong. You leave these picks that were banned for both top laners, and we're gonna see a matchup of top laners probably on their most comfortable picks here. So should be really entertaining to see if Disguised Monkey can do a little bit better for himself. Tendies has just been having his way with him through the first 2 games.
Yes. Regardless, it should be a really entertaining top lane matchup. Mid lane, I think, is a little boring, but it does suit what we've seen from both of these players. Mid lane Hokage will be not on the roamer this time, so might have a little bit more difficulty making a big impact, but we'll see how he performs on the Seraphine. He looked pretty good on it in week number 1, I think was the last time that we saw him play it.
Yeah, and he's still in that supportive role, not able to join in and be the engage like he was in game 1 and game 2 on the Galio, but still there to support his team and kind of be the afterthought to the team that enables them to win, which can be a really important and underappreciated position. But with the Moonstone, I'm assuming he's going to go the Moonstone build just because of how much healing he gets off of it. And we'll have to see what ends up happening, but last game in this bot lane, RTM was getting a little bit getting the better of attack mode's bot lane. And this is a big game 3. As you mentioned, this puts you ahead in the standings and kind of pseudo gets you into playoffs with like 1 more win. Makes it a lot easier on yourself. You don't have to go into your last 2 games knowing that you have to win and take some of that pressure off. So
yeah, I do think it's kind of interesting that Samso and Blacksalt didn't opt to try to go back for the Samira Leona with that open for blue 2, blue 3. So our team just putting a lot of priority onto getting Seraphine for mid lane Hokage. But
yeah, and I think it makes sense with Galio off the table and with the playstyle that RTMs wanted to have, having a little bit more supportive playstyle in the mid lane. Should enable this Camille towards the late game just to have some of that extra shielding and healing. Yeah.
So finally was able to look it up. Disguised Monkey has in fact already played 123 games of Wukong this season and has 1.4 million mastery points on the champion.
Yeah, so like we said, it is going to be a matchup of two top laners' best champions, so will be really entertaining to see if Disguised Monkey is able to use his champion mastery to kind of even this lane up in skill level. Tendi's getting the better of him in the first 2 games.
I can't imagine playing 1.4 million mastery worth of a champion.
Yeah, but I think, like, as someone that used to just one trick all the time, I think it's just kind of entertaining to like know the exact breakpoints once you put in all that work. But yeah, it gets a little tiring sometimes playing the same thing, at least for me. That's why I don't do it as much anymore. But
well, 1 minute left on the spectator delay, 5 minutes left on the prediction. Make sure to get those in. This one's shaping up a little bit closer. About 5,000 put down by on RTM, about 1,000 on attack mode. We'll see who proves correct. I think that was all in one lump for RTM and a couple of different chunks for attack mode, trying to sleaze their way into some channel points. But thank you guys again for joining us. If you don't follow the stream, hit the follow button. I'm done chilling. Okay. Go ahead.
No worries. I just wanted to say I liked attack mode's comp a lot. I think as far as ease of execution goes, I don't think you could get much easier as attack mode. They want to just get Wukong in there with the ultimate, with the Orianna ball, and just kind of just group RTM's team up, get that massive shockwave, and have the engage tools with Gragas and Leona as well, with Jhin there to provide some long range damage and burst. I think it's pretty straightforward for them. RTM, especially as they go to the late game, is going to want to win out on the extended trades and also the picks. But that's kind of what we've seen from ROTM through this series, doing the better pick comp.
Yeah, and I don't have much more left to say. I'm just really excited to see this game number 3. I think the only kind of weird part about this attack mode comp is the Gragas pick. You have a lot of that big AoE synergy, but then the Gragas can kind of ruin all of that with a bad ultimate. Not that we see that too often, but it's always just a small worry when you do pick that champion. Well,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what build he elects to go for as well. Whether he'll, well, I guess with the electrocute up, it's probably going to be the AP version of Gragas here. So can even just use that barrel as a form of extra burst at the end of combos here. But we'll have to see if either team decides to invade. It's always interesting to see teams' mindsets on the last game. Usually you don't end up getting anything, but some teams just want to kind of coin flip at level 1 and see if they can get an extra advantage for themselves in an important game.
yeah, Kato got the big damage there. A couple of threaded volleys. Oh, and the winner's bite. Gonna force Flavor to back. Huge advantage. It's mildly annoying. It is basically what that actually amounts to. A couple of backs and some Oracle's lenses picked up for Buddha and Pistachio. Only one ward invested at level 1 is Samso's, just for a little bit of safety, but not actually. No one headed back to grab that Oracle's lens for RTM. For the control, both junglers. Never mind. Aikido going to start on his red buff, and it looks like Buddha going to start Unleashed on his Raptors.
Yeah, and that will give attack mode the opportunity to start hitting the waves in both top and bot right as they spawn, but they elect to actually kind of hide where Gragas ends up going. And we see some of the pings already going for the RTM members on the blue buff, so not quite sure where this Gragas is starting could be a big advantage for attack mode.
Yeah, this jungle path is completely unknown right now, and no information really gathered at level 1 that could come back to bite them now. So we'll keep a close eye on it. Is Tendy's just gonna walk at Disguised Monkey? Oh, and a pause means that we'll throw up a different screen here in a second. Sorry about that, guys. Game paused. Apparently, Pistachio having a little bit of trouble staying connected to the game. Yeah, that is kind of weird. There is no timer, as like it opens out in the chat. But yeah, not a whole lot of new or interesting information since we just talked for like 90 minutes about the team compositions. So I am kind of curious, especially in the state right now where Tendies is trying to attack Disguised Monkey. I guess I don't want to talk about jungle paths in particular. Hopefully it doesn't last too much longer. We can get back into game, but you know, Tendy's getting aggressive at level 1, and we'll see how that all plays out hopefully here in a second. So, did you watch LCS this weekend? How are you feeling about week 1?
It was pretty entertaining to see TL struggle a little bit this weekend. You know, after winning the tournament, they dropped a game. It's kind of interesting to see a team that was so dominant in the lock-in tournament drop a game. But yeah, TSM looks just really lost. Yeah, I think that was been the biggest surprise, and I don't even think it's team cohesion at this point. It just looks like almost every lane is just straight up losing or not being as skilled.
So then, you're worried about TSM, but how do you feel about the dumpster fire that is CLG?
Well, honestly, after they subbed some players out, I think they at least put up some good fights. I know they had a lead in one of their games that they just kind of threw, which was kind of sad to see. But for an 0-3 team and for a lot of
I guess they
first
still don't have
players,
Broxa, to be fair.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, I think 'cause they have what Wiggly at jungle, and
Yeah.
he did pretty well this weekend. And I think it's been entertaining also to see like RJS come in and play in top lane and have a really good performance.
Still waiting on word here on the pause. Pistachio has connected and disconnected a couple of times, but not able to, I guess, fully get back into the game. Oh, there's another reconnect. I think you can hear that on the stream, but yeah, as soon as the game gets restarted, we'll jump back into it. Don't worry, we're not going to miss a second of the action. I was kind of disappointed. My boys FlyQuest had probably the hardest week 1 schedule and wound up 1 and 2. A little unlucky there.
Yeah, it is kind of entertaining to have LCS be 3 days a week, though. I've kind of enjoyed that a lot.
Okay. Teams are readying back up, so we should get back into the game. There's no countdown, so I'm going to have to just keep hovered over the transition button. It is kind of... Oh, I guess with the tournament, do they give you unlimited pause time?
No,
With the tournament code, or is it just
unless
bugged?
it's either a bug or they changed how pause time is allowed or something like that. But usually with the tournament code, at least prior to this patch, you had the time anyway. So
I'm wondering if maybe they changed it because like Cup is going on and there's a couple of other things. Okay, there's a timer actually. So play is resumed in 3, 2, and 1, and we're back. So
yeah, that would make sense with some of the amateur tournaments going on that they removed that. But our team's bot lane already forcing here
oh
on
yeah,
the level 2.
Pistachio really low, gets stunned up. It's a decent trade back by Arias as we get the, of course, dreaded spectator lag, but heal burned from Arias. A little bit of BM to go after the guy that just DC'd, but I mean, they hit the level 2. Like, it's hard not to.
Yeah, and that burns the flash and heal from this bot lane for attack mode, which could be a really big advantage.
Yeah, and here's the issue that we mentioned. Buddha has wandered into the top lane. He'll be completely unknown until right now when he shows up. He'll flash in, get the belly bump onto Tendies. The Ignite is actually going to finish off first blood for Tendies. He's trying to scrap his way out. I don't think that he'll survive. Buddha will finish that one off. Aikedo going to walk in, looking for it. Hits the Unraveled Earth into the threaded volley, and Aikedo finds the 2-1 trade, and still looking for Disguised Monkey now as he's forced to burn Flash immediately upon teleporting back in.
Yeah, and that's actually super big for RTM, and they have the wave shoving in. They may just look for a dive.
Oh, Tendi's not quite able to find the hook shot on the end of that one. Good dodges out so far by Disguised Monkey. Aikedo tanking up. He'll grab a Dark Harvest stack, but they can't fully commit onto the dive just yet. Tendi's, again, doesn't have Flash. You know, hopefully not cosplaying every top laner against Cloud9 this weekend. But so far, he's off to a much better start than they were, and he'll pick up the solo kill underneath the turret.
Yeah, opting for that Ignite instead of the Flash, as he usually does on this Camille pick, and netting himself that first kill of the game, goes back, gets the Sheen, and with Aikedo's help poking him out, is able to pick up a second kill for himself, and things going from bad to worse already in this series for Disguised Monkey, even on his signature pick, is not able to make up much of a difference. And RTM top lane, already off to the races here.
Yeah, and we always talk about... That was weird. We always talk about, you know, that first death doesn't matter super much in top lane. You can take a solo death. It's not, like, it sucks, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's once you die and you can't teleport back that everything becomes terrible. And that's exactly what just happened to Disguised Monkey.
Yeah, and in a carry matchup like this, it's going to be really hard to find any way back into the game. If you're on something like the Shen, like we saw in Game 1, you can go down quite a bit and still be super useful. But
Pistachio gonna get stunned up. They're still looking for it. Do they actually have the CC? Yeah, he's forced to commit with the Zenith Blade, and Samso finds the kill in the bottom lane. So now ROTM has the successful top lane dive, has the successful kill in bottom lane. They're off to the races here in game number 3.
Yeah, and we see how important it is that they blew that flash early. Pistachio at that level 2 doesn't have the flash available, and then they're able to just go in with the Braum just kind of running at her with the shield up, and they proc the winner's bite, and they're able to stun her up and get a kill.
Samso just recalling right in the face of Buddha as he's walked down. Tendies hits the hook shot onto the clone. That's a pretty good chunk, but unfortunately not quite onto the right target. So well done by Disguised Monkey to go ahead and hide himself for the time being. Mid lane Hokage, ooh, has to flash the shockwave. I don't think that that's really worth the BM. That's a positive trade for flavor, but yeah, at least didn't go down in that situation. Pistachio's roamed to mid lane, but he's only level 3 and can't really find anything as mid lane Hokage playing, I don't want to say passively, but playing respectfully, I guess, so far.
Yeah, and his goal is not really to solo kill the Orianna. The most that he really wants to do is just try to farm up as much as possible.
Charm into the knockup from Aikedo, and that's what he can do. He can set up the kill for his jungler.
Yeah, already supporting his jungler out there, and just a super good setup. Orianna overextended a little bit, and then just is able to ult in the middle of the lane, but this Wukong trading up here in the top lane.
Yeah, the adaptive defense for Camille off of that Wukong was magic damage. That means that Disguised Monkey has dealt more damage with his clone this game than with the rest of his abilities. But now Tendy's going to get onto it. That time he's got a physical damage shield. That's a really good clone timing from him, but it's just not going to matter as he gets takedown in the Hextech ultimatum. Tendy has to navigate those minions a little bit carefully, but he's 3-1 now on the Camille. Oh, Zenith Blade going to land from Pistachio. Black Salt trying to play linebacker for his AD carry, hits the winner's bite for the slow. Pistachio is low but not quite taken down. Samso has to play this while they get the stun, but in comes Buddha looking for the big shutdown. Black Salt blocks for his ADC, but I think the minion actually finished off the first kill there for Arya's, and it's a double kill for the Jhin.
Yeah, Arya's actually playing that fight super well, waits just to the last second to use the heal and bait Samso's flash in there. Already level 6 on the Jhin, had that level advantage, and they were just able to outlast the RTM bot lane. But here comes Aikedo trying to make it a little bit different for themselves, but just going to pick up the wave.
Yeah, I think Aikedo's just here for the farm, here for a good time. Not really looking for the collapse as Samso and Black Salt return there.
That's pretty big. Really gets the attack mode bot lane back into this game after kind of having a rough start with Pistachio.
Another shockwave for flavor. That one connects, but mid lane Hokage feeling relatively healthy. They're just going to tank it and get out.
Yeah, we see that mid lane Hokage is not really building for those trades with just the Kindle Gem, just trying to get more cooldowns, and so healthy already, wasn't able to really get much off of using the shockwave. Flavor wasn't, so.
Ooh, well, everything's slowed down just a little bit here. Oh, we got the Q2 onto Disguised Monkey. That's pretty nasty. Again, still has that ignite, so you can see aggression at pretty much any time, and they're setting up now for the Weaver's Wall. Mid lane Hokage is here as well. Got kind of trapped by the blast cone, but they're going on to Disguised Monkey underneath the tower, the Unraveled Earth. Oh my goodness, the seismic shove just enough to finish off Disguised Monkey and eliminate him from the map. 0-4 on the Wukong now.
Yeah, and RTM just keeps punishing this top lane. They know Tendy is strong, and they're going to try to answer back with a play on the bot side, but
Buddha's here. Oh, the cask actually knocks him away from Pistachio. They're trying to turn this one back around. Oh, not quite enough damage to finish off Buddha. In comes Flavor. They're looking for it. The Solar Flare invested onto Samso underneath the turret, and they will find it as Arya's cleans up 2 kills. It wasn't the cleanest looking dive, but they managed to get both kills in the process, and now Arya's is 4-0 on the Jhin.
Yeah, and I think that was RTM just staying a little bit too long there. Samso wasn't quite the level 6, and they were almost able to finish off and get a trade kill on Buddha. But you have to know that RTM, with all their members topside, is not going to be able to help you out on the spot side play. And they had the right idea initially backing up from the turret, but just overextended trying to get that trade kill back and ended up going really bad for them. So it's going to be a story of the bot lane versus top lane for this game, and both teams just kind of committing resources around their respective strong lanes.
Yeah, now Black Salt and Samso have hit level 6, which will help equalize a little bit. A lot of wards for him to hit right now. So, high quality sweeper there from Black Salt, as they'll try to shove this one in before Arias and Pistachio can return. But already the Gale Force is finished up for Arias. He is a monster on this gen right now.
Yeah, he is super big, and so our team is just going to have to get as much farm as they possibly can on the spot side and try to avoid fighting as much as possible, and just try to keep snowballing this Camille. I think that's what they need to focus on, but
yeah,
trying to take a fight on Pistachio right now.
Junglers are here fighting on the side in a 1v1. Everybody kind of surprised, I think, to see both junglers there, so they'll back off. Gragas has his ultimate back up now, didn't have it initially.
Yeah, and both top laners have TP here, but Tendy's already up 2 levels over Disguised Monkey. Both teams kind of eyeing this dragon as well.
Yeah, Smite used on the Scuttle Crab there from Ikedo might be the thing that attack mode needed to see to go ahead and start up this dragon, and in fact they do. Flavor pulls in the Shockwave. Buddha's here, hits the explosive cask, and Ikedo gets shut down by Flavor.
That's a really nice 1-2 punch there of the ultimates. Flavor landing the Shockwave just at the edge of the range, and then Buddha is able to follow up with his explosive cask, netting themselves a kill right before the dragon. So really well played there. Tendy's fighting the top side here.
Yeah, Cyclone used by Disguised Monkey just to try to get Tendy's off of the turret for the time being. Looks like the dragon going to be cleaned up now by attack mode. That'll be 2 in their back pocket. We'll see what flavor of Rift we get. Oh no, the bot lane in trouble as Samso and Black Salt pushed up. Buddha around the side. Doesn't have flash available, doesn't have the ultimate either. They'll get stunned up in the solar flare. Flash away from Samso and Black Salt. They're trying to turn this one back around. Pistachio's low. A little bit of greed here from Samso. Can he actually finish off any of these kills? He's got the ultimate available if he wants to rip into it, but Arias might just finish him off there. The Weaver's Wall comes in. In comes the teleport as well. Flash forward looking for Arias, but can't quite find it. Tendy's looking for the hook shot. He'll at least take down Pistachio. Oh, the seismic shove just not quite there. Jin opened up the curtain call. I don't like that we're watching Black Salt. I don't like it. Okay, he's fine.
Clear the wards, clear the wards.
Tendy's is still looking for it. He dives forward onto Arias. He's got the Hextech ultimatum. He'll finish off that kill, get blasted back by the explosive cask. Now in mid lane Hokage and Flavor exchange a couple of ultimates back and forth across the gap. Flavor's hits mid lane, Hokage's doesn't, and it forces the flash out of the Seraphine.
Yeah, and I think that would have been a kill if mid lane Hokage was able to find that ult, but in the bot side, we see the 4-kill top laner playing against the 4-kill ADC, and we usually know how that goes out. Tendy's is able to pick up a kill onto Arias and get a big shutdown for himself, and this Camille is just rolling right now.
He's got twice as much gold as Disguised Monkey right now. By the way, 7,900 to 3,500.
Yes.
He's gotten 2 full turrets basically to himself as well, as he took down the top lane tower for first turret and then takes down the bot lane tower solo again.
Yeah, 14 minutes into the game to be already up double over your lane opponent is just kind of an insane mark. Tendy's using his teleport that he didn't expend fighting the dragon in a really smart way there to pick up some additional kills for himself in the bot lane.
9-6, about a 4,000 gold lead for Return of the Middlesticks. They're in the driver's seat for sure, but there's definitely avenues back into the game for attack mode, specifically around Arias. He's still so strong, despite getting shut down. He's got his serrated Dirk now, in addition to his Gale Force. Samso sitting not even on his first completed item should tell you exactly how far ahead he is. Flavor takes a big double up, though, in the mid lane. Well, a couple of double ups landing. That doesn't feel too bad from Samso. It's kind of going to be difficult because RTM can't play side lanes the same way that they have in games 1 and 2, because the Seraphine doesn't have teleport this game specifically, and isn't necessarily stronger than the Orianna in the side lane. So I'm kind of curious if they're able to to change that up, because right now they're definitely set up the same way that they have been in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't think their side lane is necessarily as strong, but you still have things like the Weaver's Wall that can come in and help Tendies if he gets in a 2v1 or even a 3v1 with how strong Tendies is. He's so far ahead that this Wukong is not going to be able to deal with him hardly at all, so they're going to have to send additional people, and there's going to be a fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, fight in the mid lane. They've already taken down Sam, so a lot expended as Aikedo trying to finish off the kill onto Pistachio. Teleport from Flavors. Blacksalt gets rooted up by the captive audience. Aikedo in trouble as he gets pulled in by the Shockwave. He hits the Zanya's Hourglass, but that's just going to ensure his doom. Flavor takes that kill, but in comes Tendies trying to clean this one up. He's onto Pistachio trying to get the movement speed, but they're kiting him out well. He'll finish off one, but he falls. That's a huge shutdown on Arya's 900 gold to the Jhin.
Yeah, and that is not the person that you want to end up getting the gold. The hookshot just going a little bit wide, blind over the wall there, is not able to kill Pistachio instantly. And maybe if he had, things could have gone a little bit different, but attack mode able to find a really big fight and get themselves back in this game.
Yeah, they'll take the mid lane turret as well for their first one of the game. Samso trying to chase down, not quite going to be able to find Arya's there. Whew. Well, 10-9, 2,000 gold lead for RRTM. It's a little bit closer. Dragon spawning here in 30 seconds is going to be the next point of contention. It's the... It could potentially be the first for RRTM, or could put attack mode on Soul Point. Thank you for the raid, Philly B Esports, by the way. Really appreciate it. They're cool people. Check them out. But Pistachio getting aggressed upon. Tendies takes him very low. The explosive cask. Oh! The D-synergy there. This explosive cask knocks them out of the Shockwave and Solar Flare. Mid lane Hokage forced to try to scrap on the side. Big Cyclone knocking up a couple. They'll finish off the Wukong, but it's a 1-for-1? I lost track of the amount of people that died in that fight.
Yep, it is a 1-for-1 when it's all said and done. And as you
said,
it
is not the shot over the wall. Arias finds the dash in with the Gale Force and finishes off the kill onto Tendies. The curtains open up, but it's just going to run and return of the Middlesticks off to the bottom side of the fight. They've evened up the kill count, and now they're maybe looking, I was going to say for the Baron, but we're only 17 minutes into the game. As soon as more people get in here, the brain goes out the window, I guess. So it'll just be the second Herald going into the back pocket of attack mode.
Yeah, Arya's just finding a nice use of the Gale Force there, and the fourth shot is able to just slide in and get the last shot onto Tendies there before that ward expired, dropping vision. But this is just the story of Tendies versus Arya's, and Arya's has come up ahead in the last couple fights here.
Yeah, a couple of big items have started to get finished up. You have the Moonstone Renewer on mid lane Hokage, should help buff everybody up. But look at the pockets of Arya's right now. He's finished his Collector, and he's got another Zeal in addition to that. Just a monster performance so far from Arya's on the Jhin, and we'll see what ROTM can do to try to counter that. Right now, not a whole lot of objectives to fight for, so we've entered a little bit of a lull state for the time being.
Yeah, and Samso just doing his best to try to hit this level 11, get the second rank of his ult.
Oh, Tendies is looking for it. He just casually takes half of Flavor's health. He'll be able to get the Shockwave. Oh, never mind. That gets turned around immediately onto him. Really well played by Flavor to hold on to the Shockwave as long as he did. Waits for the drop of the Hextech Ultimatum and punishes Tendies for the overaggression.
Yeah, and that was actually just really close timing there. Tendies, I think, tried to avoid it, but it just clips him right at the very end of the ult animation. Oh, they might catch Gragas here.
Yeah, they'll find the catch on to Buddha at least one pick back in return for Return of the Middlesticks. This game kind of off the rails. Like, everybody playing a little bit loose, a little bit sloppy now in Game 3, trying to close out the series.
Yeah, both teams kind of signaling around this Baron pit. I don't think either team really wants to take it, but just trying to clear out vision, knowing both teams are there, and get control of this mid wave.
Yeah, turret gets taken down in the bottom lane as Disguised Monkey up on the split push, trying to claw his way back into the game. Had a big Cyclone in the last fight, but eventually fell. Samso getting zoned out. They're looking for picks around the Baron Pit right now, but I don't know that ROTM are actually strong enough to really look for this without Tendies.
Yeah, and Disguised Monkey's done a good job of kind of closing the CS gap as Tendies has died a couple times offhanded, and is able to kind of claw his way back into the game. Already onto the Divine Sunder, is able to get one item finish, but Tendies looking to try to get the Steric Scades completed, and I think that'll make him a lot stronger in these later game team fights.
Yep, so some more recalls for now. Minute 45 on the next Infernal Dragon spawn. Not the most important for either team. Be number 2 for ROTM, number 3 for attack mode, but still, you know, a potential point where we could see these guys flex the items that they've gotten in the last couple of minutes. Staff of Flowing Water finished up for mid lane Hokage, Zanya's Hourglass for Ikado, but on the other side you have you know, a Bramble Vest for Disguised Monkey. You have the finished Seraph's Embrace, now finished Proto Belt for Buddha as well. So a lot of big item completions coming through here in the last couple of seconds. And with a minute left to go on Dragon, both teams grouping up toward the side of the rift, except Flavor. Flavor is split pushing. Almost found the stun, the snare onto Pistachio there. Ikado looking for Disguised Monkey, hits the Seismic Shove onto him, but the Cyclone is doing a ton of damage. He gets the bonk with the Q, and Samso and Ikado can't actually track him down. They force the ultimate out of the Wukong, so it's not for nothing, but you know, maybe you wanted to come out a little bit healthier or with a pick out of that.
Yeah, and there's just really no way for them to chase them down after the initial knockback lands from Ikado there. Ikado is going to get a little bit chunked out there right before this dragon fight comes up. Still about 15 seconds to go here, but they might find the Gragas. Oh, just miss.
Just not quite able to connect with some of that crowd control. And mid lane Hokage and Black Salt not able to find anything with their bush bait. ROTM set up in the dragon area. Flavor separated from the team, so is Samso right now, but Flavor can join with the teleport. Samso would have to strut his way down, but finishing this minion wave. I don't know if the dragon has started. I think Tendies is on it, but I have no confirmation, no visual confirmation whatsoever. And yeah, now it definitely has been 2,000, 1,000 health and smited away. Black Salt trying to disengage with the Glacial Fissure. That's a huge Gragas ultimate, but a nice charm from mid lane Hokage trying to equalize everything. Nobody's fallen just yet. It's going to be Pistachio, the first victim, followed by Buddha. The bullet time trying to rip through, but Disguised Monkey gets stunned just out of range. Tendies goes down as Arya's is on a rampage. They have to play really carefully around the Jhin. Now the curtain call's opened up. Can he find the shots? Black Salt is low. Ikado's on a killing spree. He finishes off Disguised Monkey, but Flavor flashes forward and finishes off Black Salt as well. Mid lane Hokage and Samso forced to flee. It's a 2-for-2 trade over the Dragon Pit, but the extra objective goes to ROTM.
Yeah, and that was just the story of ROTM being in the Dragon Pit and getting control first. Was able to pick it up without much of a contest, but Arya's...
Samso trying to find Arya's on the backside of that one. He took a huge chunk out of mid lane Hokage, but not quite able to finish that one off.
Yeah, Arya's being able to live for so long in that team fight. I think ROTM just overstepped a little bit, being kind of low without him being touched at all. Ended up giving over a couple more kills than they probably needed to in that dragon fight, but all in all comes out pretty even, but they get the dragon for themselves, which is very nice.
Oh, Pistachio maybe greeting a little bit for this ward, uses the solar flare, and he'll be picked by Samso. Flavor in the top lane is able to find the solo kill onto mid lane Hokage, though.
Yeah, and that's really big for Flavor. He's going to also be able to get some damage on this turret as well, so already a pretty big lead in this mid lane. Not like you're expecting mid lane Hokage to have a gigantic lead with the Seraphine pick, but it's definitely getting further behind.
Ikado has to be careful here. Buddha in the back pocket of Flavor. Unraveled Earth, not quite doing it. Doesn't find the Seismic Shove. Forces him to take a tower shot, though, by stepping in. But now with Buddha here, throws the Explosive Cask out. He's an Alcove gamer. Can he actually successfully navigate this one? The shots from the Threaded Volley just not quite enough to finish off either kill. And so they take down Ikado in the top lane.
Yeah, and just the RTM carries just kind of getting picked left and right here. Um, Aikedo going down, trying to make a play for himself, but wasn't able to quite get it. And Tendy's going to pick up the mid lane turret while all that stuff is going on top lane.
Yeah, so the big lead that we saw has been narrowed back to 1,000. They're looking for the pick onto Arya's Black Salt. Oh, just can't quite clip him with the Glacial Fissure. So Arya's, again, stays alive, keeps his shutdown intact.
Yeah, and I have to say, Samso has done a good job of keeping up in farm after what was a really rough early game. Actually has a farm lead for himself, and it isn't too terribly far behind here, just about a half item down.
And you can see every time a hookshot happens, people start clenching up on the enemy team. Flavor hits the E and tries to run away as soon as he sees the hookshot over the wall. But for now, 1:50 left. Oh, they get this stun. They're going to get the pick onto mid lane Hokage. That's a lot of damage coming through, and they'll finish him off with the third shot of the curtain call. Really nice pick for attack mode, and now they're going to head to Baron.
Yeah, and as a supportive figure, it's going to be really hard for ROTM to kind of step in and contest this. They do have a really slow Baron take. Jhin doesn't do a lot for it, so ROTM might be able to contest if they want to, but it looks like they're just going to head towards the mid lane.
Yeah, they're shoving in mid lane right now. Tendies is in the wings as well, has teleport available, but so does the Sky's Monkey. It's a 5v4, and that teleport is going to be the pinch. Baron is already slain by attack mode. Will anything result from this? Or is it just going to be the disengage? Aikedo in kind of a bad spot with attack mode collapsing down onto him. They can't find purchase on any of the engages, and so RTM gets out, but the Baron buff worn by all 5 members of attack mode. They have their first gold lead of the game.
Yeah, it was just attack mode, taking that pick and just instantly doing the Baron. Tendies didn't have the TP available at the time the Baron was started, so he backed and tried to get there as fast as he could, but just wasn't fast enough. And now they have the Baron buff with Dragon spawning and should be able to use the wave control that they get from the Baron to get this Drake and put themselves on soul point.
Ooh, they're going to engage onto Tendies. He's able to buffer that with a hook shot at least, so he'll get back out to safety. Dragon spawned in 15 seconds, and the vision right now is in favor of ROTM, but attack mode can probably force their way in here, especially with the Baron buffs. They're trying to set up the minions. Teleport to the mid lane tower from Tendies is used just to try to swoop in. All 5 members of attack mode grouped up, looking to start up this dragon. It's at 5,000 health currently. Tendies and Aikedo into the back of the pit. This guy's monkey goes in. He hits a big cyclone for the initiation. Charm lands. The dragon goes the way of attack mode, excuse me. And lane Hokage in trouble on the backside of the fight. Shockwave pulls back in Tendies. He jumps back onto Arya's. They just can't find anything onto the Jhin, and it's falling apart for ROTM. They're turning it back around a little bit. Samso finds one in exchange. Aikedo trying to kite this one back out. He'll finish off Disguised Monkey, but it's a triple kill for Arya's. The flash forward as he finds another couple of autos. The seismic shove, he shuts down Arya's. What a play by Aikedo.
Like, yeah, dying breath there. Is able to just get that off and prevents her own death by getting the Zonias off. Really well played there by Aikedo. Picking up something that would have been a really terrible play. I was going to say ROTM didn't necessarily need to contest that, but ends up being okay for themselves, and they actually get 4 of the Baron buffs dropped. So it ends up turning out pretty okay for them, but a really close fight there, and when it's all said and done, a 1k gold lead for attack mode.
Yeah, the 1k gold lead holding steady, at least. A perfect exchange of gold over that dragon fight. The dragon, the extra objective, of course, going to attack mode, so you'd say that they won the fight, all things considered. Oh boy. We're set up for it. 3 minutes left on the Baron spawn, 3 minutes on a potential Infernal Soul for attack mode as well. Yeah, gold lead's 300.
With all the threats that attack mode have, it's really hard for RTM to focus on getting on Arias, and he's able to sit so far back and still be really useful with his ultimate, with his W, while Wukong kind of goes in with the Orianna ball and be the primary engage. So I think if RTM could do a better job of focusing on Arias, they might be able to win some of these fights in a better fashion. So
Yeah,
we'll have to see what.
I also want to see mid lane Hokage step up. That during that fight, the only person he hit with the Encore was the Wukong clone.
Mhm.
But if he can find a big Encore, I think that sets up ROTM really nicely in some of these fights. Blue turret
Yeah, and
destroyed is the tier 1 in top lane, by the way. So 3-3 now in turrets.
yeah, and it's been kind of attack mode engaging first, which I think bodes well for whoever wants to engage first. The team to do that, I think, has ended up coming ahead every time we've seen it. Attack mode, I think, has the easier ways to engage, but RTM could look for potential angles with things like the Talia knockback, or like you said, the Seraphine ult could be really big for them. So we'll have to see what ends up happening.
Yeah, group up around mid lane. Aikido finds Buddha. Just going to hit him with a couple of rocks for his trouble. Tendi's back to split pushing on the bottom side. It's kind of interesting. They're using Samso the way that they've used mid lane Hokage in the first couple of games, where he's separated from everybody up in this top lane trying to pick up some farm. You know, he's farmed his way back into the game. He has his Infinity Edge completed. He's one item behind Arya's, which, given the 12-2 nature of this Jhin, feels pretty good for him. But now is where we have to see it come through. 1 minute on the Baron, 1 minute 30 seconds on the Infernal Dragon.
And I think what's actually really big, and we'll have to watch this next team fight, Arias has actually been able to pick up this stopwatch for himself, and I think that could be huge.
Tendies is looking for Pistachio. Not quite going to be able to find that knock-up, but it was at least a good luck. Explosive Cask is used. They try to get Aikido. They'll find the shutdown onto Pistachio. Aikido still living with the Zanya's Hourglass, but in comes Disguised Monkey. It's a big cyclone. They'll shut down Aikido. Pull back in Tendies. He's still alive, has the Guardian Angel available. Bullet time comes through. He's on top of and finishes off Buddha as well. Arya's is relatively low. Tendi's trying to heal back up. He's got the angle potentially to hook shot in. Samso, mid lane Hokage, and Tendi's versus Flavor and Arya's. Tendi's shorts that first hook shot. 30 seconds on the dragon spawn. Tendi's still could look for this. Arya's is healed back up to full. He goes in. He gets the stopwatch out of Arya's. He's on top of Flavor. A second stopwatch is burned. Samso flashes forward. He's got the kill onto the AD carry. Tendi's needs to fight his way out now. Not able to find that hook shot. Mid lane Hokage takes down the tower. Not quite able to shield him back up to full. And the two mid laners scrapping out. And that goes the way of Flavor. It's a triple kill for Flavor. Black Salt has respawned, so has Pistachio. The Dragon's still a definite point of contention. Aikido has Weaver's Wall maybe to join.
Yeah, but that's 3 RTM members, and I don't think they're going to be able to contest. Aikido might just look for a steal, but that's about all RTM is going to be able to do here. With those 3 members just overstepping a little bit. They were trying to find the hero play and just weren't able to find it. Now 4v2 here on the Soul Point. Will Aikido be able to steal it?
Not able to find that combo over the wall. The Dragon's still at 2,000 health. Black Salt just going to use the ultimate to disengage, and they hand over the Infernal Soul to attack mode.
Yeah, and that's really big with this Baron on the map. Gonna give them a little bit extra burst, and that's something you definitely don't want to give over to the Jhin. Is any more extra burst. Already so strong with the 13 kills, and he has hit his final item, which means he isn't going to get much stronger. We could see him maybe after the GA is popped, sell that and buy something else, but for the most part shouldn't get much stronger on this Jhin.
Yeah, and I was going to point out that Guardian Angel for this potential Baron fight onto Arya's. Tendi's has lost his, unfortunately. So you have to kill the Jhin twice, and we've seen how difficult it is to even kill him once. Zanya's Hourglass on Flavor is also a consideration. Those 2 members of attack mode just so strong, and we've seen them play really safely, really, put out the DPS on the backside of these fights. But ROTM grouped up around the Dragon. They're actually the first, or the Baron, excuse me. They're the first ones here. The teleport in from Tendies as they're trying to set up. Disguised Monkey can't join, actually. This is just going to be the 4v5. Black Salt trying to block some of these shots over the wall. 4,000 health. The Blast Cone going to be taken by Tendies. Buddha's into the pit. He steals another Dragon, but he falls in the process, or another Baron, but he steals in the process. I don't know why I'm calling it a Dragon. That's the second Baron steal for Buddha this series, though.
Yeah, RTM deciding to 50-50 there. They did have the numbers advantage because Wukong was not able to join, so I don't think it was a bad call by any means to try and go for it. But somebody needs to be zoning that Gragas away, and with the explosive cask and smite combo was actually able to steal it, and what could have been a good play for RTM turns into a disaster for them. On the bright side, they don't end up losing anyone, so shouldn't be able to push too far off this, but we'll have to see how this Baron is utilized, if at all.
Yeah, attack mode have been kind of notoriously slow on their last couple of Baron takes on setting up any pressure. Right now, Arya's and Pistachio headed to the mid lane. Flavor headed to top, Disguised Monkey into bottom lane. They're looking to push in all three waves at the same time, and now actually red buff is going to be a bigger objective than setting up these minion waves right now.
We see both the carries for each team. Tendies 2 on the Camille already at full build, and the Jhin at full build, so they're not going to get any stronger as this game goes here into the, passing the 35-minute mark.
Yeah, they're able to stop this minion wave. Attack mode still not really willing to pressure in. They have Disguised Monkey kind of collapsing from the bottom side. Tendies is just separated, split pushing on the bottom side of the map. So this is a 4v5 around the mid lane currently, with Tendies potentially able to join late. Disguised Monkey, gets knocked back. That's a huge chunk out of him. Actually pops his Steric Shield. But
and that's actually really big. Not going to be able to have the Steric Shield available for a potential dive. But the bigger story is RTM, even though they got the Baron stolen from them, is not going to be really used against them to much effect.
Yeah, more recalls hit up as ROTM continuing to shove down mid lane. They have to be careful now. They don't have the most vision on their flanks and don't want to, take an explosive cask or a Wukong to the face here and lose it all. With the way that they played out this Baron has been really good, though. They've kept the wave shoved. They've kept everybody off of their towers. I'm going to just click on somebody and see how long it's got left. That doesn't tell me anything. Excellent. Thank you, spectator mode. Gut Instinct says that it's about a minute.
10 more seconds. Yeah.
They're setting
up. You can always check the Baron timer because it's always 2 minutes, and then I just see when it respawns.
Well, minute 30 on the Elder Dragon for the Elder Division. Feels like the team that gets the Elder Dragon should be able to win the game. So a lot of pressure on that particular objective. Teleports up for Disguised Monkey and Flavor. Not quite up for Tendies, although it'll be relatively close with the spawn timer of the Elder Dragon.
We have kind of seen that whatever team gets to the area first ends up usually getting this Dragon objective. So I expect to see a lot of scuffling for a vision here in this minute till the Dragon spawns, but 2 members of our team are backing, so they're going to kind of concede control of the Dragon pit.
Yeah, I think it was an important back, though, for mid lane Hokage as he picks up the Chem Tank Purifier. Talia finishes up the Magi's Soul Stealer, so a little bit of extra power purchased right now, but Samso is caught. He's able to Gale Force away from one, flash away from the Solar Flare. Whew, well. He's safe. The boy is alive. Yep. He did lose his flash in the process. And ROTM now can flip the vision in the pit. Buddha may be a little bit caught over the wall. Here comes Tendies trying to lock him up. The Zanyas is going to prevent the Hextech Ultimatum on the bottom side of the fight, though. The Encore is good. They take down Buddha. Disguised Monkey's into the backline. Black Salt falls. The bullet time tearing through. Disguised Monkey is low. He gets the Steric Shield back up. He dashes forward, but into the Talia rocks. Tendies is onto Pistachio. They find 3 kills. Can they actually find either of these carries. Tendies is on top of Arya's. The wall separates him. Oh no, Aikedo was trying to close off Arya's, but he's able to dash back over the wall. Now the Elder is going to be started up by ROTM. Arya's and Flavor won't be able to contest, and this will go to a return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, and we saw just how big actually mid lane Hokage on the Seraphine was able to heal his members back up and continue the fight. But the bigger prize than just those kills was that ROTM was able to pick up the Elder Drake, and they will have that for 2 minutes and kind of just be able to take whatever they want, because I don't think they're going to be that attack mode is going to be able to contest.
Yeah, and with the way that the Baron spawn is 30 seconds on that, they can shove in this mid wave, maybe the next wave as well, and then they should have the priority to go ahead and grab this Baron as well and kind of flip the script on the last couple of opportunities. Buddha going to have to come up with another big steal if they want it, but it's going to be the Death Bush setup from Return of the Middlesticks. Tendies is teleported pretty far away, but I think Black Salt might have been spotted on this control ward on top of the red buff.
Yeah, Tenny's going to catch this top wave, and really smart there from attack mode to just not walk blindly into an enemy with Elder. But now they've got the Baron up here, and I don't think attack mode's going to be able to contest at all, and this goes down so quickly.
Yeah, Buddha opted to go for some farm on the other side of the rift, shove out some minion waves, but now the Baron and the Elder buffs being worn by Return of the Middlesticks. We'll see what they can get. Right now going to swing through the mid lane and already set up this push. Aikedo set up top wave as well to try to crash. They have a couple of outer turrets left to try to crack before they really get into the base. But again, we'll see what they can get. Backs now for attack mode is the first inhibitor turret going to fall. First inhibitor should be short work as well from Return of the Middlesticks. All 5 members now collapsing in. Just looks like attack mode trying to defend their Nexus turrets. Curtain call opened up. Aikedo going to interrupt the curtain call with his ultimate. Explosive cast not able to connect. The one minion still wailing away on Nexus turret number 1. In comes the second minion wave.
Yeah, and attack mode's kind of running out of time here. One turret already falling. It looks like our team's just going to try to brute force
They
here.
use the solar flare, but already Pistachio is down. Eliminated from the map. Tendies is onto the backline. Flavor is low, but they can't finish him off. Now they finally execute Buddha. They'll flip back in Disguised Monkey. He's wreaking havoc with the Cyclone, but both of his carries have fallen in the backline. Jin is resurrecting. Aikedo and Tendies still left alive, but they'll finish him off. Tendies, can he actually finish it? The Nexus is so low. He just needs to hit the Nexus. Oh, he does. He finishes off the game.
Wow, what an exciting finish to that game as Tendy just resurrects right at the right time, hook shots in, and just gets the last auto to finish it off. That game ending in a blaze of glory, a really fun series to cast. Both teams just fighting and fighting and fighting, and ROTM just comes out ahead in the end.
A 2-1 victory for Return of the Middlesticks to improve to 2-1 on the season. They're in the driver's seat now for a playoff spot. What a hard-fought series, though. They get revenge on some of the attack mode members now, but boy, what a scrap. What a series. Really enjoyed casting with you again, Lane. Boy, thanks everybody for joining us. Special shout-outs to LiveDove as well as Philly B Esports and Ludiolo for both the big raid as well as the subscriptions during the stream. We really appreciate the support, and yeah, what a great victory for Return of the Middlesticks. Hopefully they're feeling pretty good about that one, because that was a monster series.
Yeah, so fun to watch. It was just both teams battling back and forth, and sometimes you get kind of sleeper games and it's not much fun to cast, but this was just a fun series all around. So big shout out to attack mode as they continue their season. What they played very well, especially their bot laners.
Yeah, so that's gonna do it for us tonight. Boy, I'm losing my brain all of a sudden. Upcoming schedule, tomorrow night at some point, gonna cast the LRS games from this week. as well as I think I have a solo queue game to pay up on. Yeah, and then we'll have the gold games. The gold team plays on Wednesday night. The plat team plays on Thursday night. We'll have those games probably, Saturday like normal. All right. Thank you again to Liposuction Lane for joining me, and we'll go ahead and sign off for the night. So thank you from all of us here at Return of the Middlesticks. GG. It's a 2-1 series win for Return of the Middlesticks, and we'll see you guys next time.